Buck Martinez. Jamie Maggio will join us in a bit. Well, this Oakland A's team, 14 walk-off wins during the regular season, and they did it again last night in Game 4. Coco Crisp getting the job done. He's been a big part of this series in every game.
Well, he sure has, and he got the series off started with a first-inning home run off tonight's starter, Justin Verlander. But it was a doubter in Game 2 when he dropped a pop-up that led to 2 Tiger runs. He got the crowd back into it immediately with a great catch to rob Prince Fielder of a home run, and then last night he capped it off. His 4th walk-off hit of the season, pushed to this Game 5.
Well, the Tigers have lost the first 2 games of this series, but they have to feel good about the fact they have one of the game's best pitchers, if not the best pitcher on the mound tonight. Yeah,
Justin Verlander is a big game pitcher. He loves this atmosphere. In Game 1, he had a little bit of a problem getting into the ball game early. You can see Stephen Drew hit a double and then just single off the bat of Pennington, but he was out of sync. He got his pitching coach's advice and really sorted things out from this point forward. 5 straight strikeouts in the 6th and 7th. Verlander was pitching on 7 days rest. Tonight he's on normal rest, and I expect much quicker adjustments from Verlander.
Jared Parker makes his 2nd start of the series for the A's. This series has turned into a 1-game playoff. The city moves on to the ALCS, and it's next from Oakland. Send it downstairs to Jamie Maggio.
All right, thank you, Don. You know, there's only a handful of aces in baseball. Justin Verlander is certainly one of them. He's won his last 5 starts, posting a .77 ERA. Now, Buck, you talked about what Verlander did in Game 1. Justin said he has the same feeling now as he did then in terms of responsibility. His mentality is not changing, and he's not going to try to do anything more than what he's done all season long. Also, as for the Tigers as a whole, remember, they've been in this spot before. Last season, Game 5 of the ALDS on the road in a hostile environment. They went on to beat the Yankees. Guys?
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. As the Detroit Tigers dropping the last 2 games of this series as they get ready to take on Jared Parker. Let's take a look at the Detroit Tigers starting lineup tonight from Oakland. It is Austin Jackson leading it off again in center field. Quentin Berry in left field bats second. Miguel Cabrera at third base. Prince Fielder at first base in the cleanup spot with Delman Young, the DH. Andy Dirks is in right field. Johnny Peralta at shortstop. Alex Avila does the catching, batting 8th. And Omar Infante at second base bats 9th. Jared Parker getting his 2nd start of the postseason, ready to go tonight for the Oakland A's.
Same pitching matchup we had in Game 1, and Parker went 6 1/3 in that ball game. Gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, just 2 earned runs for the season. He made 29 starts, and he has really developed over the course of the season. At this point, Bob Melvin has said that Parker and Malone, both with 13 wins this year, are not rookies. They have pitched in big ball games, and certainly his 2nd opportunity to pitch in the postseason. Jared Parker should be on his game tonight. Important for Parker to keep the collar on. Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera have combined for 1 RBI. He needs to stay aggressive against them, and he will attack with his sinker. A very aggressive young pitcher that will go right at these Tiger hitters tonight.
Austin Jackson ready to get it started tonight. Look at his numbers so far in the ALDS. He is 3 for 15 so far. Jared Parker ready to work here in front of his home fans. Here is pitch number 1 of Game 5. That's fouled off. We're underway.
See how that ball moved way off the plate inside, but Parker loves that sinking fastball. He's got a lot of life on that pitch, and he's going to attack these hitters and try to get to a point where he can use a devastating changeup.
At age 23, he's the youngest pitcher to start a decisive postseason game since Jarrett Wright started 2 such games for the Indians at the age of 21. And there's the change as it is strike 2, 0-2. This Oakland A's crowd has been a big factor in this series. Ever since this series shifted to California. Here's an 0-2 and a swing and a miss. Jared Parker strikes out Austin Jackson, 1 down.
Parker got that good changeup for the strikeout. Take a look at the defense. We talked about this outfield defense. Cespedes, Crisp, and Reddick, they're all terrific outfielders, and we have seen Coco Crisp make a couple of circus catches in this series. Up the middle, sure hands, Stephen Drew and Cliff Pennington. And Pennington's done a great job since moving from short to second. Josh Donaldson, a terrific play at third base last night. Moss is the first baseman, and the rookie Derek Norris behind the plate.
One down for Quentin Berry, the speedster, as he takes a look at ball one. Berry's gone 2 for 7 so far in the series. See his numbers from the regular season. Slides into the 2 spot. Lifts it in the air down the left field line. Cespedes on the run, but it'll land harmlessly in foul ground. And evens the count at 1-1. Berry fractured the bat, so he gets a new one.
It's been a real problem for Jim Leyland, the fact that they've not been able to get the top 2 in the order on base ahead of Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder. Leyland feels like the pitchers for Oakland will attack differently with runners on base, and so far they've done a great job of keeping the top 2 off the bases.
Berry takes the 1-1 for ball 2. On deck, Miguel Cabrera. As the Tigers bat here in the first inning. Berry will lift it out towards left center field. This ball is headed towards the gap and will get down. One hops the wall. Back there is Cripps to play it, but into second base with a 1-out double goes Quentin Berry. So now there is a guy on ahead of Cabrera and Fielder. It is Berry with a 1-out double to the gap in left center.
Quentin Berry had 10 doubles during the regular season. He stays on this fastball down and away and drives it to the gap. It looked like Crisp was going to have a shot to make a catch, but the ball kept slicing away from the center fielder. Lands safely and then bounces up off the wall, and that's a big hit for the Tigers early in this game. Coco thought about leaving his feet, but he just wasn't close enough to make a dive for that ball. And he plays it off the wall. It's a 1-out double for Quentin.
So Berry at second base for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera grounds it foul, down 0-1. He is 5 for 16 in this American League Division Series. After a .330 average during the regular season, 44 home runs and 139 runs batted in.
But the big number on that graphic was 0 RBIs. They need production from Cabrera and Fielder tonight.
Outfield playing very deep for the Oakland A's, and Coco Crisp, the center fielder, is shaded towards right center for Cabrera to perhaps go the other way. Big gap out in left center field, provided for the Triple Crown winner. And 4 for 11 with the base is empty. Runners on, 1 for 5, but again there have not been many on. It's been a problem for the Tigers. On the ground left side, drew it short, looks the runner back. His throw is in time. 2 outs in the first inning, no advance for Quentin Berry.
You can see how smoothly Drew fielded that ball, and he knew he had plenty of time with Cabrera running up the first baseline. Very patient, very confident, and he's really tightened up this inner defense for the Athletic. Takes a nice route to the ball, rounds the baseball, looks the runner back at second, and then calmly throws across the diamond. He's really stabilized the defense for the Athletics at short.
The Tigers 5 for 24 in the series with runners in scoring position. Miguel Cabrera individually is 0 for 3. And now Prince Fielder stands to the plate, a 188 average in the ALDS. He came to life here last night, finally, for the Tigers. Had a couple of big hits after he was robbed of a couple of hits in the first game, including a home run by Coco Crisp. Fielder takes strike 1. 93 from Parker.
He didn't like the call. Wally Bell behind the plate, and Fielder thought it might have been low. This is that sinking fastball down around the knees, and Parker made a perfect pitch for strike 1. Just catching the outside edge.
Lunges after that, and he's down 0-2.
That's a great changeup. Parker has a tremendous amount of confidence that he can throw that changeup on any pitch, and has got a late run down and away.
Fielder chops it towards third. Donaldson will play the hop. Throw is good, and the inning is over. Parker's through the top of the first. The A's are coming up in Game 5. How their starting 9 looks tonight. Coco Crisp in center field leads it off with Stephen Drew at shortstop. Yoenis Cespedes in left field. Seth Smith, the DH. Josh Reddick in right field. And it's Josh Donaldson at third base. Brandon Moss at first base bats out of the 7th spot. Derek Norris does the catching. He's 8th. And Cliff Pennington at second base rounds out the starting 9 for Bob Melvin. The season rests on the shoulders of Justin Verlander for the Detroit Tigers tonight.
This is his first opportunity to wrap up a playoff series. 33 starts in the regular season, a 17-8 record, a very good ERA at 2.64. And he's all about overpowering hitters. He's got a great fastball. That's what helped him strike out 239 during the regular season. Verlander will make his 10th postseason start here tonight. He's 4-3 during those previous 9 games.
Jim Leyland told us before the game, ignore the pitch count situation. He's going to be in there.
Verlander is on normal rest. In Game 1, he was pitching on 7 days rest. It took him a while to get into the ball game. Quicker adjustments tonight. He had a problem mechanically through the first 5 innings of his start in Game 1. Adjusted and came out smoking in the 6th. He struck out 5 straight Athletics in the 6th and 7th.
Coco Crisp leads it off and takes strike 1. And Verlander giving up 16 runs in the first inning of the regular season and 16 extra base hits. He's allowed 1 run, and that was Coco's home run in Game 1. Home run, 2 RBIs, and a .222 average in the ALDS right now for Crisp. But the big hit last night. Coco 4 for 18 in the series as he takes a pitch outside.
Well, we had talked about Coco Crisp in the opening, hitting the home run in Game 1, dropping the ball in Game 2, taking a home run away from Fielder in Game 3, and then winning Game 4 with a walk-off hit off Jose Valverde. He has truly had the entire roller coaster of emotions through the first 4 games.
Swing and a miss, and he's down 1-2. He has been involved in a big way in every game in this series. And leading it off here.
He's had a lot of success against Verlander, including a home run, of course, that came in Game 1 in his first at bat of this series. So far, Verlander hasn't had to throw him a strike.
Crisp thought about it, lays off, and the 94-mile-an-hour fastball is also away. He's allowed a first-inning run in 5 of his last 9 career postseason starts. And they're trying to prevent that from happening tonight. Crisp will foul it off.
Jim Leyland talked about that earlier with us in the clubhouse, and he said, I'm a little concerned about the first inning. Justin understands the importance of this game, and sometimes he gets a little overamped. He said this first inning is going to be pivotal for him, and he feels that once he gets through the first inning, he'll be fine.
Crisp will strike out.
Well, Verlander starts the same way as Jared Parker, striking out the first batter he faced. Defensively, the Tigers have played well. They've committed just 1 error in this series. Quentin Berry, Austin Jackson, and Andy Dirks in the outfield. They can cover a lot of ground. On the infield, Peralta and Infante don't have the range of the Athletics, but they're sure-handed with strong arms. Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder at the corners, and Alex Avila is behind the plate for Justin Verlander.
1 out for Stephen Drew. 4 for 15 so far in the American League Division Series. As he takes ball 1. But conversely, On the other side here for the Oakland A's, they have got to try to get to Verlander early in this game, because if they don't, they know full well he can settle in.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. They've done a good job the last 2 times they've faced him by elevating that pitch count. But as Bob Melvin told us earlier, he said the pitch count didn't get elevated, but he's still going to throw 125 to 135 pitches if needed. Tilly Davis, the hitting coach for the Athletics, has reminded his hitters, hey, just get a good pitch to hit.
Swing and a miss there for Drew. All geared up 2-0, and it's 2-1.
Verlander would love to keep this crowd at this level right here. They are not into the game just yet, and if he has a good first inning, he's going to be able to keep them out of it for a while.
Drew fouled off and even it up now at 2-2.
Oakland has played so well here in this ballpark. They've won 20 of their last 25 games, including 8 straight.
Finished the regular season by winning the final 6 straight games, and the 2 here in this division series leading to tonight's game 5. Swing and a miss, elevates at 96, and chasing it is Stephen Drew. Back-to-back Ks to open up the night for Justin Verlander.
I don't throw around the term ace very often. Everybody has a number 1, but not everybody has an ace, and Verlander is an ace. He can set the tone for this ball game as he does right here and blows that fastball right by Stephen Drew. We talk about the Hallidays, the Weavers, Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia, Justin Verlander. It's an elite group.
Talk about a tough combination too. You're talking about an Oakland A's team that led the league in strikeouts, facing the pitcher who led the league in strikeouts with 239 during the regular season. He has 2 strikeouts to start tonight's game 5 as Yoenis Cespedes will line one towards left center. That'll get down. Austin Jackson over to play on the backhand. Cespedes thinking 2. Throw to second, and is going to be close. He didn't slide, but he gets in safely. He elected not to slide, which made it closer. But the tag from Infante is tardy, and it's a 2-out double for Cespedes.
What a good-looking young player. Yoenis Cespedes jumps on the first pitch fastball. It's up about belt high, and he drills it in the gap. Austin Jackson gets over and cuts it off, but with 2 outs, it's a good gamble for Cespedes, and the throw is wide of the mark, and he goes in standing up.
So 2 down, and into scoring position is Cespedes for Seth Smith. As he slides into the 4 spot, and why not? He's had a very good series, and that big hits, even though he is 2 for 11. He's got a home run and 3 runs batted in, all timely in this series. And a check swing grounder back to Verlander. He'll field and throw. And that will end the first inning. They leave Cespedes at second base. Done with 1 in game 5. No score from Oakland.
This afternoon to go over these hitters, but they just check in with one another throughout the course of the game.
Delman Young stands in and takes strike 1. DH for the Tigers, 3 for 13 in the series. Jared Parker at a 12-pitch first inning as this is in the air down the left field line. And the third baseman Donaldson calling and catching the first out of the inning. Standing in foul ground takes care of Delman Young.
This infield for Oakland has really played well, and they have made some spectacular plays on hard hit balls. Josh Donaldson made 71 starts at third base, and he has looked very comfortable and confident at third.
So 1 down here in the second, 3 in a row retired by Jared Parker. Here's Andy Dirks, who is 4 for 13 during the postseason so far. There's strike 1 to Andy Dirks.
Dirks is 3 for 6 against Jared Parker. And Parker, the one thing I really like about him, it doesn't matter if he's facing lefties or righties. Batting average is almost identical. He's got a lot of different weapons to attack both lefties and righties.
How much do you think game 1 helps to have under his belt?
No, it's immeasurable. to have the hype and the excitement and to be able to quell the butterflies with one start already under your belt. This is much more like a regular season game for him tonight.
0-2 is up the middle. Ranging is Pennington on the backhand. His throw not in time. Nice rangy play turned in by Pennington, but beating it out was Andy Dirks on a close play at first. Remember, Pennington was a shortstop.
Well, Pennington's got a strong arm, but Dirks has good speed. And watch where this ball is caught. It's a one hopper back up the middle, and looked like he slipped initially, but then he throws behind the bag, still gets a lot on it, but Dirks outruns the throw. He has really done a nice job transitioning from short to second, and that's not an easy thing to do. You'll talk to a lot of shortstops that can't make that transition over across the bag to second.
One down. Dirks at first base on a very close play, and this is to center field off the bat. A Peralta to right at crisp for out number 2. Let's get another look at this, Buck. He may have been out at first base.
Well, take a look at it as you look at the stretch by Moss, and boy, it is close. It looked like his foot was still in the air before it came down on the bag. Scott Berry, the first base umpire, he goes by the benefit of the ball in the glove, the sound that makes, and then the thump of the foot hard onto that base.
So Dirks may be fortunate to be at first base, but he is with 2 down. And Alex Avila, the batter. 3 for 8 so far in the series. Tigers have had a base runner in every inning so far.
Avila hit the home run off Parker to lead off the 5th in game 1. An opposite field the home run. He's a very good low ball hitter and covers the plate across the plate down around the knees very well.
Runner goes at first. Avila takes the strike, and the throw is not going to be in time. Stolen base for Andy Dirks at second base. Jim Reynolds took a good long look before making the call.
Dirks only had 2 steals during the regular season. Peeks over his left shoulder, and you can see Drew never really got the ball in his glove. It's a changeup, and then the rushed throw by Noah skips off the wet grass here. It's so cool and damp, and that ball skipped and handcuffed Drew at second. But it was a perfect pitch to run on, as it was a changeup, and Norris didn't have much of a shot throwing out Dirks.
Second straight inning, the Tigers have had a runner in scoring position. They left Quentin Berry at second base in the first inning. Alex Avila trying to bounce back after a quiet postseason last year. He was 3 for 41 in the postseason last year for the Tigers. They had just 1 extra base hit, home run in the American League Championship Series, 16 strikeouts and 41 postseason at bats a year ago as he takes a pitch outside.
It's pretty easy to have an ugly batting average in the postseason because of the pitchers you're facing. Oftentimes they'll take their number 5 starter and put him in the bullpen. You won't even see him, so you're seeing nothing but the best during the postseason, and there are an awful lot of ugly averages.
This postseason so far 3 for 8 for Avila. Sliced foul off to the left, and it's 2-2. '29 regular season starts for Parker. He was 13-8. Whole new ball game here in the postseason. Got to be very comfortable on this Coliseum mound tonight with this crowd roaring again. Two-two pitch to Avila. Fouled off again.
With a runner at second base, it's time to remind you what great throwers the A's have in the corner outfield positions. Cespedes in left field has 9 outfield assists. He can really throw, and he's very accurate. In right field, Josh Reddick was 3rd in the American League in outfield assists with 15. Only Jeff Francoeur and Alex Gordon of the Royals had more outfield assists than Reddick.
Andy Dirks at second base with 2 outs here in the Tigers' second inning. Swing and a miss. Parker picks up his second K and wraps up the top of the second in the process. We are scoreless from the Coliseum in Game 5. Success this season. Again, at home, they had 50 wins during the regular season. They won both their postseason games here so far, and they're trying to win this series at their home park tonight.
Yeah, and it's a very raucous crowd, and Bob Melvin has said several times during the course of the season that this crowd reacts as if it's twice the size of the actual crowd. They're loud, they get into it, they really support their favorite players, and the club has responded very well.
There is Josh Reddick to begin things here in the bottom of the second inning. Reddick takes strike one. 13 first inning pitches for Justin Verlander. Had 2 strikeouts as he struck out Crisp and Drew to begin his night. And the first inning was important according to Jim Leland. Got a good one. And Reddick starts the second, and that's strike 2.
Yeah, and you can see Wally Bell is giving Verlander that outside pitch, and this was a problem for Oakland in Game 1. Verlander got several favorable calls, especially on the outside part of the plate to left-handed batters.
He's ahead 0-2, and neither of those pitches show up as strikes. This one is sent foul down the left field line. That makes it so much tougher for Oakland hitters. If he's going to get that all night, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it sure will be. And we have seen the Oakland hitters respond to the umpires and say, you know what, Verlander doesn't need any help. You can call strikes that are over the plate, and don't give him that pitch that runs off the plate down and away. He's tough enough.
Through 26 first inning pitches in Game 1. Only 13 in the first inning this game, and look where all those pitches are.
And you can see that Reddick is aware that he's got to protect that outside corner, even off the corner about 4 inches. That's a tough way to hit.
It's 2 for 14 in the series. Foul to the screen.
Now, I was waiting for Avila to come inside. He could tell that Reddick is leaning out over the plate, trying to cover that outside corner. And it's imperative that Avila stays aware when those hitters start to lean outside, that he straightens them up with an inside pitch.
Avila caught Verlander 23 times during the regular season. That is just outside. And if you're Reddick right now, you're not entirely sure what to take and what to foul off or try to get a piece of. Going back outside with a 1-2, and that's strike 3. So he gets the call again, and Reddick walks away shaking his head, and you'll see why when you see where this pitch ended up.
Yeah, and they set up on that outside corner, and Avila does a good job of receiving the ball, but you can see that it's probably off the plate. Wally Bell consistently called that pitch a strike throughout the entire Reddick at bat.
Well, the breakdown so far for Verlander, 15 strikes to 5 balls. Similar on the other side for Jared Parker. So 24 pitches and 20 for strikes. There's Josh Donaldson with 1 out here in the second inning. Donaldson takes strike 1. We made a terrific play at third base in last night's game, and part of the reason the Oakland A's were able to keep it a 2-run deficit going into the 9th inning was his great play that ended up taking him into foul ground and threw it all the way across the diamond to keep the A's within reach, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, Donaldson played third base in college at Auburn University. He played there for 3 years at third, and then when he signed into pro ball with the Cubs, they moved him behind the plate. He has been a third baseman. He said over the last several years in the minors, he's played about 50 games at third, but they needed his presence at third, and he's done a nice job stepping in for Brandon Inge.
Well, the play we were talking about last night, remarkable as he makes the grab and from one knee in foul ground throws it all the way across the diamond.
And came in the 7th inning off Johnny Peralta. Jerry Blevins was on the mound, and he did a great job of gloving it initially, keeping Peralta from making a bid for an extra base hit, and then throwing from his knees to throw him out at first.
1-2 from Verlander. There's a pop-up right side. Infante will duck back to the short line and right and make the catch for the second out of the second inning. So 2-away, and that'll take us to Brandon Moss. Dropped down on the order a bit. He'll bat 7th tonight. He is 1 for 13 in the series, and it's sort of been all or nothing for Brandon Moss. Takes some healthy cuts, and if he can make contact, it's going to go a long way. The contact part's been the tough part so far in the series.
It sure has. 21 home runs during the regular season in just 84 games, so he's got a lot of pop in that bat. But right now, he's not been able to make much contact.
Look from behind the catchers to see what the batter gets a look at when dealing with Verlander. Moss with a swing and a foul.
That's a great changeup. He, like Parker, has a very good changeup, and Verlander has developed that pitch where he will throw it any time. You see the radar ratings 95, 96 early. You get geared up for the fastball, and then he drops that good change on you.
The Moss wanted time, didn't get it, and the 1-1 is going to miss. Which is 42 at bats for Moss, batting 7th during the regular season for the Athletics. Did have 4 home runs from the 7 spot, but hit a .214 during the regular season. That's 7th tonight in Game 5 of the ALDS. Swing and a miss. Tardy on the fastball.
Good separation between the changeup and the fastball. The changeup he threw to Moss in this at bat was 85, and the fastball he just swung and missed was 95. Excellent separation.
Outside for ball 3. Reach back for a little extra at 97.
Yeah, it never hurts to have that in reserve. I need a little extra. He has touched 100 this season.
Derek Norris waiting on deck, the catcher for the A's. That is ball 4, and the A's have a base runner with 2 down in the second. First walk allowed by Verlander. It comes with 2 down here in the second inning. We talked to Jim Leyland about the appearance of the All-Star game as he started the All-Star game in Kansas City, and that was just an aberration. He was trying to throw 100 miles an hour in that game. And right out of the gate had a very bad outing, and it was certainly un-Justin Verlander-like.
Yeah, we asked Jim Leyland about that and said, how might that compare to him being amped up tonight? He said, don't even think about that. He was just trying to show the world he could throw 100.
1 for 10 is Derek Norris. His fielder holds on Moss at first. That'll bounce, and losing it is Avila. Heading for second base is Moss, and he will be out. Took off aggressively to second, trying to take advantage of a ball in the dirt, but Avila gets it to second and guns down Moss. We're through 2. No score from the Coliseum.
Top of the 3rd in Oakland. It's a scoreless ball game. Alex Avila, the catcher, did a nice job of blocking the curveball initially, then locating it quickly and making a strong throw to Infante at second, of which the tag on Brandon Moss. Not a bad gamble by Moss. Obviously, with Verlander in the ball game, you're not going to get too many opportunities. And with 2 outs, it's a pretty good time to take a break. Avila got on it quickly and made a strong throw to second to end the inning. But Moss did a pretty good job. It was a breaking ball in the dirt. He read it well, but Avila made a strong throw.
So here we go into inning number 3, and it's Omar Infante, number 9 man for the Tigers, to lead it off. 4 for 14 during the postseason so far. 9-1-2 for the Tigers here in the 3rd inning. As Infante backed out. Jared Parker again, 24 pitches for the first 2 innings, 20 for strikes. As he deals with ball 1. 2 strikeouts for Parker through the first 2 innings. Tigers left a base runner at second in the first, left a base runner at second in the second, and continue to have trouble with runners in scoring position. They just cannot get that big hit. There's a base hit to left field in front of Cespedes. Omar Infante has got a base hit, and the lead runner on for the first time tonight for the Tigers.
Ball was up in the zone, and Infante didn't miss it. Watch the target, and then you see the pitch up out over the plate, and Infante is aboard at the fastball. Just never really got down in the zone where Norris wanted it. About belt high with the fastball, and look at Infante's head right on the pitch.
Here's Austin Jackson, who struck out in the first inning. First to check on Infante at first base. Austin Jackson, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Jackson takes strike one over the outside corner.
Parker had 21 stolen bases against him in 27 attempts. He hasn't really refined that part of his game yet. But a good way to diffuse a stolen base situation is to throw strike one. Base runner at first has one pitch already taken away from him.
Jackson with a swing and a miss. We mentioned he struck out in the first. He's down 0-2 here. He strikes out a lot. 485 career strikeouts in 441 games played. Finished first in the American League in 2010 and second in the American League in 2011 in strikeouts. So it's something that he does with regularity. Pitch is high, and it's 1-2.
Parker struck out Jackson in the first inning with a changeup. And as we mentioned, he will use that changeup any time. It's a swing and a miss changeup. There's no question about it. The bottom drops out of it.
Check on first, and back to the bag is Infante.
You saw the flip of the thumb. That generally means I want you to throw over. Check in on Infante, who's a good base runner. He's 7 for 9 in steals attempts this year.
In the dirt, Norris couldn't find it, trying for second as Infante. His throw is late, and Infante takes second. So Norris not able to come up with it as quickly as Avila did in the bottom half of the second inning.
Well, and Norris actually got a break. This ball goes underneath his glove and hits the umpire Wally Bell's shin guard and stays right close to home plate. But watch how the ball goes underneath the glove and hit the umpire and stayed right at the catcher's feet, but he can't make a strong throw like Avila did. That ball was headed for the backstop, but Wally Bell knocked it down with his shin guard, and Infante took advantage of it.
Ruled a wild pitch. It gets Infante to second. 2-2. Fly ball to center field. Crisp goes back towards the warning track, and that ball will one-hop the wall. Around from second base comes Infante. It'll be an RBI double for Austin Jackson, and the Tigers strike first on top 1-0. That ball quickly got out to left center field as Crisp tracks it down after it hits the wall. And there's a big hit for Austin Jackson to drive in a run.
This is a slider that's down in a pretty good spot, and he really hit this ball hard. Initially, it looked like Crisp was going to have a chance to make a catch on it, but the ball took off. One hops the fence. Infante easily scores from second, and that's the first hit with a runner in scoring position for the Tigers tonight. Had been 0 for 3 prior to Jackson's hit.
Well, Jackson had a career-high 66 RBIs in 2012. He drives in a run here in the postseason. Now bunt bid from third base. Donaldson will fire to first, and a sacrifice that gets Austin Jackson to third base. Barry gets it down, and he's fired up about it. 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, good job by Barry. I mean, it was perfect bunt and great execution. You get that guy at second base, you better move him over to third for Cabrera.
The A's are going to bring the infield in right now with a runner at third base and 1 out. Cannot allow the Tigers to get many runs with Justin Verlander on the mound tonight. Cabrera grounded out in the first inning, 0 for 1. A grounded foul.
Yeah, how'd you like to be an infielder right now with Cabrera at the plate and they're telling you, hey, you got to play at the edge of the grass? Oh, thanks a lot.
No, thank you.
But it'll be interesting to watch how Parker attacks Cabrera. Miguel, of course, a terrific hitter, having just completed the Triple Crown. But you got to stay hard on him, especially in this situation, because he's targeting the opposite field now.
This will get away. And coming from third base is Austin Jackson to put the Tigers on top 2-0. So Cabrera does not need to drive in the run. Instead, that one gets away and Jackson scores. It's 2-0 Detroit.
Derek Norris didn't do a very good job on this ball. He never really goes to his knees and blocks up the hole. He tries to catch it. You're going to get beat every time you try to do that. It's a hard sinker ball in the dirt, and they keep it down. Jackson at third base is going to score easily, but Norris has got to go down on his knees and block that ball, keep it in front of him. 2 wild pitches have contributed to the 2 Tiger runs.
Parker had 10 wild pitches during the regular season. 2 in this inning as Cabrera will pop it up into shallow right. Out goes Pennington. In comes Reddick, and Reddick puts it away. 2 down in the inning. So Cabrera 0 for 2 in the game. And it'll take us to Prince Fielder.
Now batting, number 28, Prince Fielder.
Fielder grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. 3 for 17 in the series. On the ground, foul outside of first.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach for the Athletics, done a great job with this young staff. They started 4 rookies in this series, and they really have an understanding for staying within themselves and not trying to muscle up on pitches. They'll rely heavily on their off-speed pitches and never really try to muscle up and overpower hitters.
Finished the year with a 3.48 earned run average as a staff. Only the Tampa Bay Rays with a lower ERA at 3.19. 0-2 pitch to Fielder. He strikes out. But the Tigers gather a pair in the top of the third inning. They've got a 2-0 lead in Game 5 from Oakland. Tigers have a 2-0 lead as we get ready for the bottom of the third inning. Well, who will become a legend this October? Cast your postseason legend vote at MLBFanCave.com. Well, it is 2-0. The Tigers leading as Derek Norris, Cliff Pennington, and Coco Crisp coming up here in the bottom of the third inning. Verlander's got a lead now as his Tigers gather a pair in the top half of the inning.
And Verlander's got his stuff together. Early on was a concern for Jim Leyland, but he threw 13 pitches in the first inning. And when you think back to his start in Game 1, he threw 26 pitches in that first inning of Game 1.
Outfield set up straight away on Norris. Norris takes strike 1. So far 1 for 10 in the series. That's a strike over the outside corner, and he's down 0-2.
Now you can see the body language from Justin Verlander. He's starting to feel real good about what he's featuring now. He's got the changeup in the mix early. The fastball has got a lot of life and late zip. Now he's bringing the curveball into the mix.
As you mentioned in Game 1, it seemed as if it took into the 4th or 5th inning before he became completely comfortable.
Well, he was pitching on 7 days rest, and that was a long span for him, and mechanically he was out of sync. He pitched the first 5 innings and really was fighting his rhythm.
That's on the outside corner for strike 3. Norris takes with him the 4th strikeout for Verlander. And we had the chance to catch up with Verlander's pitching coach in between innings, Jeff Jones. Jeff, what are your thoughts so far of Justin Verlander on the night?
I think he's thrown the ball very well. He has all of his pitches working. He's getting ahead in the count. So we're pretty pleased with where he's at right now.
Jeff, when he has that changeup working so effectively, what kind of an advantage does that give him when he also sets it up very effectively with his fastball?
Well, I think his changeup is a key pitch for him, especially against this club because they have a lot of left-hand hitters. So he got it going early, and hopefully it'll stay with him the rest of the game.
Well, so far so good in that category on the night for Verlander, and you mentioned the separation between the two. Go from 95 to 85. It's a pretty big change.
Yeah, there are a lot of starting pitchers that use a fastball at 85 miles an hour, and that's Verlander's changeup. And just like Max Scherzer in last night's game, the arm action is what really sells that changeup. Hitters see fastball arm action and changeup velocity.
With Pennington batting, and he looks at ball 2.
Scherzer was great last night, and that changeup serves him very well. Verlander and Scherzer 1-2 in the American League in strikeouts.
2-1 pitch to Pennington. On the ground up the middle, Peralta around the bag at second and fire, and he gets it there just in time. Pennington got down the line very well. Ball was not hit all that hard, but Pennington retired for the second out.
And Johnny Peralta kind of sat back on this ball right behind the bag at second, and Pennington does run well, but you can see he appeared to be out by about a half a step. Fielder with the stretch, and there's the catch, and then the foot just a little bit late coming down on the bag.
Two down in the third inning, top of the order for the A's. Coco Crisp struck out swinging in the first, 1 of 4 strikeouts on the night for Verlander. Crisp jumping on that first pitch, a fastball, and fouling it back. Verlander becoming just the 10th pitcher in Major League history to win both the MVP and Cy Young Award in the same season, 2011, and the first since Oakland A's Dennis Eckersley, 1992, unanimous choice, the AL Cy Young Award winner. This is fouled off to the left hand, MVP. And of course, X number retired here by the A's.
Yeah, you obviously have to be very dominant as a pitcher to win both the Cy Young and the MVP. There are a lot of traditionalists that will not vote for a pitcher for MVP, but Eckersley threw up such great numbers they had to give him that MVP as well, just like they did with Verlander. Verlander thought he'd got that curveball over the outside corner.
Two coming to Coco Crisp. On the ground left side, Peralta to the backhand. Going to hurry with Crisp running, and he gets it there just in time. A couple of bang plays at first, but a 1-2-3 third inning through 3. Tigers have a 2-0 lead in Game 5.
Hey, thanks for the VIP treatment, Kerry. Thanks for saving me all that money on my car insurance, Robert. That's State Farm's discount double check. We dig through your policy, find any hidden savings. That's funny. Before every home game, I used to do an Ivy double check. Really? Yeah, people drop all kinds of stuff in here. Old cell phone, French horn. Andre Dawson? What year is it?
Let State Farm find your hidden savings with a discount double check.
Caught it! Woo!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
The new Droid Razr M by Motorola with 4G LTE speed and a big screen that's fit for your hand. Say hello to the full screen phone.
Man, these sonic flat mounts are really bringing me and my taste buds closer together.
Oh, that's nice. You guys are close.
It's like we're not even taste buds, we're taste bros.
Oh, okay.
It's like we all went through some real cool nature experience together, but things didn't get weird.
Is the point of this that I'm not in on it?
You make your own relationships. You seek out your own peer group, man. I found mine.
A barbecue feast in the palm of your hand. New hickory flat melt sandwiches. And save room for creamy cheesecake bites. This is how you Sonic.
We ran a mile before breakfast. Sure, I had a salad for lunch. But a Miller 60 for a dinner. Oh yes, 'cause I've worked off my paunch. 'Cause we live a life of balance, and no one can say that we're wrong. So here's to good Miller, who cut out the filler and made a beer worthy of song. To Miller 64, to Miller 64, to love, sweat, and beers, and well-deserved cheers to Miller 64.
2-0. The Tigers have the lead over the A's as we head to the fourth inning. It's close plays at first base, especially the last one.
Well, Johnny Peralta didn't hang on to this ball very long. He knows he's got Coco Crisp sprinting down the first baseline, and Prince Fielder with a good stretch. They get Crisp by about a half a stride. But a couple of bang-bang plays already for Scott Berry, the first base umpire.
So it's on to the fourth inning. 2-0. Tigers on top. Delman Young to lead it off. Fouled out to the third baseman first time up and takes a hack at the first pitch.
And that's that good sinking fastball, and it ran down underneath the bat of Delman Young, well off the plate.
Tigers getting to Jared Parker for 2 runs in the third inning. Straightens up Young on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Tap foul.
Really interesting how pitchers can be so different in their approach and how they get hitters out. Parker has a sinking fastball, a slider, and a very good changeup. Compare that to what Verlander does. He throws a hard fastball, a hard slider, great curveball, and a changeup. He's got an extra weapon.
Wild swing and a miss for Delman Young. 4th strikeout for Jared Parker. He caught up with the manager of the Oakland A's, Bob Melvin, moments ago. Bob, you've been here before, down 2-0 right now, but certainly no panic in your team.
No, we just got to get some good balls to hit. You know, he's been throwing the ball in the corner a little bit off, and you know, we got to wait for a good pitch to hit, and when he makes a mistake, then we have to be able to handle it.
Bob, your hitters have a pretty good idea that he's going to be away. Wally Bell's given him some borderline pitches early on. How do you counteract that as a hitter?
Well, you know, you're programmed to swing at strikes. If you keep getting out there, you got to get up on the plate a little bit and make him throw the ball inside.
Certainly a tough adjustment to make. We have seen Verlander go out there quite a bit as this one is lined to right. Reddick is there, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Reddick was one of those guys that ended up striking out on a pitch that appeared to be well off the plate.
Well, we talk about Verlander, how tough he is to hit. Well, he's tough on Wally Bell as well. He's throwing 96 miles an hour, and it's got that late life. It starts in the strike zone and then darts out off the plate. But Wally's been very consistent. That's been his strike all night long. And if he's going to stay there, the Oakland A's hitters are going to have to creep up on the plate a little bit and try to cover that outer half.
So it's up to the hitter to make the adjustment. As there are 2 outs here in the fourth inning, and a swing and a miss for Johnny Peralta. His second look tonight at Jared Parker. He flied out to center in the second. Five in a row retired by Parker. That'll skip in.
Yeah, he choked off that changeup and bounced it well in front of home plate. But this youngster has done a nice job of adjusting to the big leagues. He got a taste of postseason action last year. Just a third of an inning with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, on the ground to third base. Tough hop that jumps up on Donaldson. He gathers and throws, and it's still in time. Had time to recover at third base. A 10-pitch inning. 3.5 done. It's 2-0 Detroit. Well, Verlander has been ahead of most in this game per usual. 10 out of 12 first pitch strikes for Justin Verlander. has 2 outs here in the 4th inning and has retired 5 Oakland A's in a row as Seth Smith stands in. Smith grounded back to the mound in the 1st inning. Smith had been 1 for 9 in his career with a home run against Verlander. Now 1 for 10 as he fouls this one back and out of play.
Yeah, there are going to be a whole lot of guys that are 1 for 10, 1 for 15 against Justin Verlander.
Not alone in that category.
That's a long list.
The line for Verlander so far has got a 2-0 lead. The 1-1 is strike 2.
Now there's another weapon, that hard curveball. He's very patient with it. Oftentimes power pitchers will overthrow that curveball, but Verlander has very good patience and allows it to come out of his hand and get that good tight spin.
In the dirt, sliding to his right, Avila.
Now there's the opposite side of it. He tried to throw a better curveball that time and bounced it in front of home. It's never a good feeling when you're a batter and the starting pitcher is waiting on the rubber for you to step in the box.
Smith with a late protective swing and he fouls it back. 96 on the gas that time from Verlander. Cespedes hit the ball hard, but he lined out to Austin Jackson for the 2nd out of this inning. 2-2. Breaking ball, and that'll miss. Wally Bell took a good long look, and Verlander thought he had him.
It's about in the same spot that Bell has called fastball strikes, down and away, but this one was a little too far outside for Bell's liking.
Swing and a miss. Verlander gets him in the end. 6 strikeouts for Verlander. Another 1-2-3 inning. We're through 4. It's 2-0 Tigers in Game 5. That's Alex Avila, their catcher, leads it off here in the 5th. Chops one down the first baseline. It's a fair ball, and Moss will win the race to the bag for the 1st out of the 5th inning.
Well, as dominant as Justin Verlander has been, Jared Parker's keeping his club within striking distance, and that's all the A's want. Just give us a chance. Just keep us right here. Parker's only allowed 4 hits and a couple of wild pitches in the 3rd inning, contributing to the 2 Tiger runs.
One down for Omar Infante. Well, that's really what the starters have done in the first 2 games for the A's here. Just keep them in it, and they'll take care of the rest with some late inning theatrics. And certainly last night, been down this road before with the Oakland A's, as again they had 44 come from behind victories in the regular season. They trailed 2-0 here in Game 5 with 1 out in the 5th. Infante singled and would score on the double by Austin Jackson in the 3rd inning. The 2-run inning for the Tigers. There is Austin Jackson, able to drive in a run. He would score the 2nd Tigers run. That'll miss, and that's ball 4 to the number 9 man, Omar Infante. Draws a 1-out walk. First free pass served up by Jared Parker.
Infante scored the 1st Tiger run. Now he's aboard with 1 out. Chip Hale giving the running game defense to his catcher Derek Norris. Infante advanced to second base on a wild pitch in the third inning, would score on Jackson's double.
Jackson takes strike one. It's down to Gene Lamont, third base coach's box here for the Tigers. Brandon Moss holding on. Omar Infante at first base. 0-1 is bloop foul off to the right, and it's 0-2.
Oakland turned 2 double plays in last night's game. And Parker with that sinking fastball, he's always in a position to get 2 outs with 1 pitch.
Runner goes. Jackson takes the ball. The throw from Norris is going to be high and late. And into second base with the theft is Omar Infante.
Well, we had mentioned that Parker's very deliberate, and the Tigers are forcing the issue. Infante breaks, takes a quick peek at the throw. It's high. Pennington has to make sure it doesn't go into center. You can see that ball took off right out of Norris's hand. He didn't have a shot at throwing out Infante. But during the regular season, Parker gave up 21 steals in 27 attempts.
Swing and a miss. Jackson strikes out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball by him. 5th strikeout for Parker. He needed that, and he gets out number 2.
Great late movement on this 2-seam fastball. You can see how it just comes down and in, and Jackson swings over the top of it.
Well, it equals the strikeout total for Parker in game 1 with the 5 strikeouts that he had in that first game. And there's 2 outs here in the 5th. Quentin Berry, the batter, with Omar Infante at second base. Berry will pop it up. Foul ground. Racing is Donaldson. Donaldson will get there to make the catch. The fast foul ground at O.Co Coliseum works the advantage of the Athletics. The Tigers have a 2-0 lead halfway through game 5. Verlander, on the strength of 6 strikeouts, retired the last 6 batters he's faced. Has given up only 1 hit, 1 walk, and he's into the 5th with the Tigers on top 2-0. Josh Reddick, Josh Donaldson, Brandon Moss, the trio in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fly ball out towards deep left center field. Jackson on the run back towards the track to make the catch. Jackson had to go a long way to get back there, but he runs onto the dirt of the track and makes the grab to retire Josh Reddick for the first out of the 5th.
It's unusual, but the ball was carrying very well here tonight. That was a first pitch changeup that Reddick stayed on pretty well, and Jackson thought he had it just shy of the warning track, but it carried a little bit further than he expected. He still ran it down, but Reddick hit that ball pretty hard on the first pitch changeup from Verlander.
Well, we come to you from O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. This is game 5 of the American League Division Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. And it's the Tigers who have jumped out to a 2-0 advantage. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, Jamie Maggio with you. What a series this has been, and it comes to its end tonight, one way or another. Donaldson popped out back in the 2nd inning. He will lift one in the air to shallow left center this time. Peralta out and calling. Shortstop puts it away, 2 down. Two quick outs puts a hush over this crowd in a hurry.
And Verlander really has everything working now. He got Reddick on one pitch, a changeup to fly out to center field, and then it's Josh Donaldson on 2 pitches. Gives him an opportunity to extend his outing, pitch deeper into this ball game.
Far more economical at the moment than his first outing. 2 down. Moss takes one for strike 1.
Another first pitch changeup at 85.
Swing and a miss. Another one back to back, and it's 0-2.
Now, you know you really got a great changeup when you're changing speeds on the same pitch. He sells it very well as if it's going to be a fastball, and Moss was way out in front.
Moss takes this time, and it is 1-2.
3 straight changeups, and now it's time to elevate a fastball. He's had an easy inning.
One-two pitch. Go to the curve, and it's lined out to left center. That'll get in for a base hit.
Yeah, I don't like that call at all. You see, Verlander shook to the curveball. You've already got Moss thinking soft. And now after 3 changeups, they throw him a curveball. So he is backed off anyway. I think a fastball would have been a much better pitch. And you can see Moss stays on it and gets aboard with a base hit. He had already seen soft, soft, soft. And on the 4th pitch, you throw him another soft pitch. And he singles to left.
First hit for the Oakland A's since the first inning when Cespedes had doubled. Now they get a single from Moss with 2 outs in the 5th. Derek Norris, the batter. He went looking in the 3rd inning. There's 6 strikeouts for Verlander on the night. Strike 1.
Sometimes the fact that you have too many great pitches creates problems. Verlander forgot he still has 97 in reserve after he had thrown 3 good changeups, and he could have punched out Moss with 1 high fastball in my mind.
Quickly ahead here, though, as he reaches back for 97, 0-2. Norris thought about it, lays off.
It's a hard slider he buried in the dirt, but you can see the expression on Verlander's face. His teammates have seen that throughout his career, as if to say, I got this, boys.
Down and away again. He's trying to make some 2-out noise here in the 5th inning. The crowd certainly is.
Don't forget that the A's have out-homered the Tigers during the regular season. They've got a lot of pop in this lineup. During the regular season, Oakland hit 195 home runs compared to 163 for the Tigers.
Verlander got the very late timeout call from Wally Bell. He's not happy about it at all. He was about to fire in. He was the last to find out. This crowd was so loud he did not hear it. Two to Norris. That just misses. Verlander was headed to the dugout, but instead it's called a ball, and it's a full count now. Moss can get it started first.
It's a breaking ball. It stays up, and Verlander thought it was a strike. Wally Bell didn't give him that call, and you can see the reaction. He was headed toward the dugout.
Norris strikes out. Verlander gets him in the end and picks up his 7th strikeout. We're through 5 in Game 5. It's 2-0 Tigers. Tigers and A's, and it's 2-0 Detroit as the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Tigers come up. Jared Parker works into the 6th inning. Miguel Cabrera leading it off and chopping one to third. Donaldson's up with it. Throwing plenty of time to get Cabrera, who was 0 for 3 in the game, and out number 1 of the 6th inning.
Now again, another at bat with nobody on base for Miguel Cabrera, and that really allows Parker to be very relaxed and aggressive. And Jim Leyland has been dying for some at bats with 2 or 3 men on for Cabrera, but that's not been the case throughout this series.
And Cabrera has been aggressive. He has seen 6 pitches and 3 at bats.
It becomes frustrating when you're a run producer and you're not getting many opportunities to produce. You start chasing a bit.
0-1 to Fielder. That is up and away. And it's 1-1. Prince tonight is grounded out to third base. Struck out swinging. One of 5 strikeouts for the A's starter, Jared Parker. Fielder will pop it up. Donaldson into foul ground. 2 down.
Cabrera and Fielder now 0 for 6 against Jared Parker. He has kept the Tigers within striking distance.
Number 21, Delman.
So 2 down here in the 6th inning. Delman Young coming up. Hey, look at the 3, 4, 5. They're combined 0 for 8, and that includes Delman Young, who is 0 for 2 in tonight's game. And in the wins that the Tigers got at home in Detroit, it was the same situation. Those 3 really not doing very much. It was the rest, the complementary pieces of this Tigers team that aided them to win. Here's a base hit, though, for Delman Young. 2-out single to left, and it's the 5th Tigers hit of the night.
Delman Young hits that ball out over the plate and is able to hook it into left field. But you're right, even tonight they've scored 2 runs, but only 1 with the benefit of a hit. The other came in on a wild pitch.
And Austin Jackson's double scored Omar Infante. Jackson would score on the wild pitch, uncorked by Jared Parker. Tigers with 2 outs have a runner at first for Andy Dirks. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Dirks had an infield hit, stole a base in the 2nd inning. Lined out to right in the 4th, 1 for 2. 18 of 24 first pitch strikes on the night for Jared Parker, who has been ahead of most.
The reason first pitch strikes are so important is that puts the batter in a swing mode. He now has just 2 more strikes left. He's got to expand his strike zone. If the other situation is reversed where Parker falls behind, then they become more selective. But pitching ahead has really played into the strength of Jared Parker.
Dirks looks at a strike and is down 1-2. Outfield deep on him. Stroud will get back on its feet again with 2 strikes to the batter, 1-2. Check on first. Not a very big lead for Delman Young. Easily back to the bag. Dirk's not chasing that. Too far outside. 2-2. again away.
It's so tempting, that changeup, but the late run took it well out of the strike zone, and Dirks was able to identify it quickly.
Dirks, a guy who enjoyed the season series against the A's very much at .462 against him. 12 for 26 during the regular season. Swing and a pop-up right side. Cliff Pennington on the outfield grass makes the catch. It ends at top of the 6th inning. 5.5 deep into this one. It's game 5 and it's 2-0 Tigers. It's a unique gathering here in Oakland.
It's more like a party than a ball game, and everybody comes out to support this team. There are a lot of characters on this Athletics ball club with a lot of personality, and the crowd is really bought into it.
There's a lot of personality in this crowd too. Look at Verlander. Difference from game 1 to game 2. He threw a bunch of pitches early, 61 through 3 innings. And tonight, right now, through the first 5, it's 72.
Yeah, he's in great shape as far as his pitch count goes.
Jim Whelan needs him to go deep into this game, and said he would go deeper in the pitch count if need be. He is the best pitcher he's got, might be the best pitcher in the game. You understand why. Cliff Pennington batting out of the number 9 spot for the Athletics. His second look at Verlander tonight. Grounded to short in the 3rd inning.
Now, as good as Verlander has been, the A's are only a bloop and a blast away from tying it up.
We know they have the flair for the dramatic. That's a strike. 2-1.
Verlander, another high pitch, gets a favorable call from Wally Bell. You can see Cliff Pennington was biting his tongue at home plate.
Three and 1. Doesn't seem like Verlander's been in this spot very much tonight.
No, he's been ahead most of the night.
Well, the hitters count here to the number 9 man, Cliff Pennington. Pennington will ground it right side. Omar Infante gathers and throws. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. Another ground ball out. Second time Pennington has grounded out tonight. The Bernie dance as Coco Crisp makes his way to the plate. Weekend at Bernie's. He's got a rebirth out here in Oakland, to say the least. At least the first one. I don't know about the second one.
They certainly made it popular because of Coco Crisp, and they use that as a walk-up music. And everybody has bought into it.
Bernie actually spoke in the movie for about the first 10 minutes and then sadly passed away for the remainder of the movie. Somehow they made a sequel. Just strike over the outside corner.
But you see, once again, there's a pitch off the plate outside, and Coco Crisp is backing out of the batter's box, upset that Verlander continues to get that pitch called a strike. We spoke to Bob Melvin early in the ball game and say, how do you counteract that? He said, well, you might have to get up on top of the plate.
Third time through here for the A's against Verlander. This one sliced foul. Well, Coco Crisp got the series started off on the right foot for the A's. First batter, and he takes Verlander out of the yard for a home run.
It was a high fastball and just out over the middle of the plate, and there was no doubt about it. He had a line drive out of the ballpark to right. He had 11 regular season home runs.
Chris fouls it off to the left. Speaking of sequels, the Oakland A's and Coco Crisp would like to have another one tonight after what took place last night.
Well, last night was dramatic, and they were down by 2. Jose Valverde came into the ball game, and they didn't waste any time. Single, double, 2-run double, and it was tied just like that.
Valverde just did not have it in last night's game. Besides, relies on location so much and just didn't have it last night. A lot of missed location. 1-2, a very late swing by Chris to stay alive.
But he has to go after that pitch. It's been called a strike, and he's aware of that. You can't take anything close on the outer part of the plate. So Verlander and Avila, his catcher, can just continue to take it further and further away.
Only 2 hits allowed by Verlander, 1 since the first inning. 2-2. Good at bat turned in so far by Coco Crisp. Fouled off again.
Verlander really missed his spot there. They were trying to come inside, and he missed all the way across the plate outside. And Coco Crisp has really covered the outside part of the plate. Watch where the catcher is set up, down and in. He misses all the way across the plate, up and away, and Crisp was able to foul it off.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And it's a ground ball to second base. Omar Infante throws out Crisp, 2 down. That was the longest at bat of the night for an Oakland batter. 2 down in the 6th.
And Chris really hustling down the line, putting the pressure on Infante on a routine ground ball. And he had a little bit to say to Wally Bell as he headed back to the dugout. Once again, the theme of the message from the A's hitters: Verlander doesn't need any help.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Stephen Drew coming up here for the A's. Drew has had no luck tonight. Struck out swinging in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 4th. As Coco Crisp is still miffed as the pitch is in there for a strike.
Wally Bell has consistently called it a strike. Doesn't mean it's a strike, but it's been the same all night long. And you can see how frustrated Crisp is.
One of those nights for Drew, you strike out twice, you look up and you're down 0-2 again.
Yeah, it seems like you step in the box and how did I get here already?
Strikes out for a 3rd time. The trifecta for Verlander, who has 8 strikeouts in the game and is through 6 as Tigers have a 2-0 lead. Sante. Jared Parker returns to the top of the hill for the A's, thrown 70 pitches through 6 innings and has kept his team in this game. With the Tigers on top 2-0. He's not looked at all in awe of the situation tonight.
Not at all. He has really been comfortable, and unfortunately Derek Norris allowed a couple of wild pitches to get past him in the 3rd inning, and that contributed to the 2 runs. The 2nd run scored on a wild pitch. Austin Jackson scored from 3rd.
Peralta has flied out to center field, grounded out to 3rd base.
I'm a firm believer that if a catcher can get to a ball, he should be able to block it. Wild pitches to me are those ones you can't get to. But Parker has that great sinking fastball, and if he's going to miss, he's going to miss in the dirt more often than not. So as a catcher, you've got to anticipate balls in the dirt and get ready for them.
Peralta hits it on the ground. Diving is Donaldson off his glove. It'll be run down by Drew in short left. But reaching at first base is Johnny Peralta.
Donaldson bobbled the ball in the 4th inning off the bat of Peralta, but he was able to knock it down. This time he just barely gets a piece of it as he dives to his left. You can see it hit off the finger of his glove. He never got enough of it to knock it down. Watch how it hits off the bottom of his glove. He didn't get that glove down quick enough, and it goes past him for an infield hit.
Runner goes in the first pitch, a swing and a miss, and the throw down is not going to be in time. What a tough throw from Norris.
Yeah, and they have a couple of guys that don't steal a lot of bases run tonight. Peralta had just one stolen base all season long. Avila is out in front of the changeup.
The look of a hit and run, the way he was swinging at that pitch.
Yeah, it was a hit and run, and you can see Peralta peeks over his shoulder. Knows there's going to be a throw, but it's well off the mark.
Tigers with 4 stolen bases in the series. They have 3 tonight. This will bounce in, knocked down by Norris. No advance for Peralta.
Now Norris was lucky on that one as well. It was a curveball. He just kind of got a piece of it. The curveball might be the most difficult ball to block when it's thrown hard like this last one. You're never really sure where it's going to bounce. But you can see he didn't put a glove on it. He just kind of missed it, but it got part of him. Just stayed right there at home. They're lucky that Peralta didn't move up on that one.
That's a strike, and it's 1-2. It appears to me that Norris, more often than not tonight, has tried to backhand stuff more than he has flipping that glove underneath.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You're just not going to catch a high percentage of those balls in dirt. You've got to block them. And that's the first thing a catcher needs to think about, is keeping the ball in front of you.
Avila takes, and it evens at 2-2.
Well, Avila needs to pull the ball on the ground right here. At a minimum, move Peralta from second to third. And he's just got to think about having a pitch that he can pull on the right side. And if he sneaks it through the infield for a base hit, that's a bonus.
Outside for ball 3.
Kurt Suzuki, the veteran, was traded mid-season, and he was terrific at blocking balls in the dirt. He caught 72 games for the A's. Bob Melvin, a former catcher himself, really understood the value of Suzuki behind the plate, even though he wasn't contributing much with the bat.
Avila strikes out. Parker needed that. Picks up his 6th K. 1 down.
Well, Parker gets a huge strikeout, and you can see another changeup, and Avila is way out in front of it. He's trying to pull it, but it was so well thrown in a good spot, he can't make contact. Brian Cook starting to heat up. On the back end of this A's bullpen is really good. Big arms, a lot of strikeouts, and Cook was great again last night.
1 out, Peralta at second base, and here's Omar Infante. Works out of the number 9 spot, but he's been aboard twice in the game. That skips him for ball 1. Infante is single, would score in the 3rd inning after he singled, walked and stole a base, was left on in the 5th. Detroit has left 4 men on through the first 6 innings, and they've got a 2-0 advantage. Runner in scoring position and 1 out. That's a strike. 1-1.
And you see Wally Bell gave Parker a pretty good pitch there, and he's been consistent. He hasn't been one-sided or the other. And that pitch on that third base side of home plate has been a strike for Wally Bell all night long.
Bluffing off the backside is Parker as Peralta returns to the bag. Second baseman Pennington close to the bag at second, keeping Peralta close to the bag. And Fonte takes ball 2.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you shorten Peralta's lead at second should there be a base hit. If you can shorten him up by 2 or 3 steps and there's a base hit, you got a shot to throw him out.
Ball 3, 3-1. Another good at bat turned in here by the number 9 man Infante. And Derek Norris, the catcher, is going to go out and talk to Jared Parker.
Yeah, this is a twofold trip right here. Out to talk a little strategy about how they're going to attack Infante, but it also gives Cook another couple of extra pitches. Cook is a strikeout pitcher, and Bob Melvin might go to him with Jackson, the next batter.
Parker in game 1 went 6 1/3. That's where he's at right now. 4th 3-ball count of the night. Infante lines it into right field, a base hit. Peralta had to wait to make sure that wasn't caught, and he stops at third. Throw is wild, but backed up by the pitcher Parker. As Infante in a low liner that just got up over the outstretched glove of Cliff Pennington at second base, and it's 1st and 3rd now for the Tigers.
Yeah, Peralta had to freeze to make sure this ball is not caught, so he doesn't get a jump. Watch him at second base. It's a line drive, and he holds his ground to make sure that ball gets to the outfield, and that's why he's not able to score on the single to right. Well, Bob Melvin has Cook ready.
So Parker went 6 1/3 in game 1. He goes 6 1/3 in game 5. And lead trailing in this game, responsible for the runners on. 2-0 pitching change coming to you from the Coliseum in Oakland. On top 2-0. And a look at his line tonight. 85 pitches thrown by the starter tonight for the A's.
They did a good job of keeping the Tigers within striking distance. That's exactly where they are. They have a 2-run lead, and a couple of wild pitches in the 3rd inning have accounted for those 2 runs. New pitcher is Ryan Cook. His 4th appearance in this series, and the strikeouts, 4 strikeouts in 3 1/3. And he's got a strikeout candidate in the plate at the plate in Austin Jackson.
Pitched in games 2, 3, and 4, and here he is in game 5. Parker can just look on now as Ryan Cook, with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. First pitch to Jackson is a strike.
Nasty slider, real tight spin, difficult to identify.
23 pitches in game 2, 14 in game 3, and 16 in game 4. For the first, and quickly back to the bag is Infante. Ryan Cook inherited 25 runners during the season, 8 of them scored. He inherits 2 runners here in the 7th inning and trying to keep this a 2-run deficit for the A's. This is lined into right center field, a base hit. From third comes Peralta to score. On to third, the throw there, and safe at third base. As he overslid the bag that time is Infante, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead.
Cliff Pennington came within inches of gloving that line drive. He might have got a piece of it. This is a bullet off the bat of Austin Jackson. He hit a good pitch, and you could see his hesitation suggested he thought the second baseman was going to get it. But that ball was hit so hard it gets past Pennington before he could get his glove up. And Infante goes 1st to 3rd. But that was a bullet by Austin Jackson. big insurance run. Infante came off the bag, but Donaldson didn't field the ball cleanly.
So first and third again with one out. Quentin Berry, the batter. Left to third, look to first, doesn't throw to either locale. Berry a double in the first and a sacrifice bunt in the third. He fouled out in the fifth inning. Outside for ball one.
Boy, Jackson really hit that ball hard, and it was a good fastball. Might have been low on the outer half, and he stayed right on it and drilled it over the second baseman's head.
Second hit, second RBI of the game for Austin Jackson, the top of the order. Getting it started here for the Detroit Tigers. As the pitch will miss again, and Cook falls behind 2-0. Finally, some people on base, likely for Cabrera, who waits on deck. Fonte at third, Jackson at first. Ball three. Berry taken all the way, takes ball four, and the bases will be loaded. So Cook has come in and given up an RBI single and now a walk. Well, Miguel Cabrera coming up, and this will be the fourth time he's batted. He's 0 for 3. 3, 4, and 5 hitters have had trouble in this series, and look at their numbers in the ALDS.
Yeah, and you can see that they have been shut down very effectively. Just 2 RBIs. They haven't had many opportunities with runners on, and now Cabrera will bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. It is only grand slam of the season against Oakland this year, part of a 6 RBI ball game.
If you're wondering about the amount of times Cook has been used, again, it's the 4th time in the series he's appeared. He pitched in 3 straight games 4 times in the regular season. 2 runs in 4 innings pitched. There is action behind him as Jerry Blevins up in the pen. But in a big jam here. Cabrera batting, bases loaded, Tigers already on top. That's strike 1. And 0-1 to Cabrera. Tap fouled. He's down 0-2.
We mentioned 1 grand slam this season. It came against Jesse Chavez on the 18th of September at Detroit. And he has been a run-producing machine all season long, wrapped up the Triple Crown. 139 ribbies during the regular season.
And he gets hit to drive in another Tigers run. Tigers will take a 4-0 lead. So he had gotten ahead of Cabrera 0-2, and he brings a pitch inside that hits Cabrera, get an RBI, and it's 4-0 Tigers.
They're trying to crowd him with that fastball and loses it upstairs. Hits Cabrera right on the elbow. So still 3, 4, and 5 have only driven in 1 run with a hit, and that was a solo home run by Prince Fielder.
Melvin out to make the change as Cook, disappointed with his work tonight, did not retire any of the Tigers. It's 4-0 Detroit. Jared Parker charged with the 4 runs tonight. Ryan Cook responsible for the men on. 2-0. Long wait for Justin Verlander. He doesn't mind at the moment. His team scoring runs. Looking for more. 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1.
And obviously, Blevins with Fielder at the plate now has really got to be able to get that breaking ball over to Fielder. When he's behind, you can see Evan Scrivener quickly begins to loosen up for Oakland.
Elevates and chases on a pitch that was up near his chin. 2-2. Bases loaded for the Tigers. 1 out in the inning. 2-2 pitch to Prince Fielder. Fielder hits a fly ball to center field. Crisp had started back. Now he comes in and it'll fall for a hit. From third, Jackson will score and the Tigers take a 5-0 lead. Coco Crisp again. That first step was back and it lands in shallow center field. Fielder drives in a run and the Tigers lead it 5-0.
Tigers have been waiting all series long for a big inning, and now they've scored 3 here in the 7th. When you've got power hitters at the plate, you see a big swing. Outfielders have a tough time. Their initial reaction is that he hit it hard. Chris took a step back, and now he's got a long run, and he'll never recover. That happened to him in Game 2 in Detroit. Chris takes that one step back, and it proves costly. It happened to him with Cabrera at the plate in Game 2. He got to it, but would eventually drop the ball for a 2-run error.
8th member of the Tigers to bat here in the 7th inning is Delman Young, and he lines one off the glove of Stephen Drew at short into left. Scoring from third is Berry, and the Tigers take a 6-0 lead. They're opening up this game number 5.
You just wonder if the magic has come to an end for Oakland. This ball was a potential double play ball that Drew goes down to the backhand.
Number 12,
he plays the shortstop, but it just skips off his glove. If he makes that grab, it's going to be an easy double play, but the Tigers have kicked the door wide open here in the 7th.
They charge an error to Stephen Drew at shortstop. Bases reloaded again for the Tigers. Andy Dirks with the infield in all the way around. 9th member for Detroit to bat in the inning, and a ground ball to second base. Coming home is Pennington, and out there the force out and the second out of the inning.
Yeah, if the manager has the infield playing in, you can't even take a shot at 2. He knows that you can't fall any further behind. It's already a 6-0 deficit, and it was hit right at the second baseman, but Melvin wants to save the run at the plate. You can see Drew kind of broke toward the bag, but the play is to go to the plate, get the force out. Can't fall any further behind Justin Verlander.
So bases loaded, 2 down now. Johnny Peralta started this inning with the infield hit off the glove of Josh Donaldson at third base. It's got all this started. Just a 2-0 game coming into this in the 7th inning. The Tigers have scored 4 times so far, and they're looking for more. The largest deficit the A's came back in this season was 4 runs. They trail by 6 right now. Peralta takes the strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, 6 runs a deep hole to dig your way out of, especially when you're facing Justin Verlander. In an elimination game, Verlander has had all of his pitches working, and now you're behind by 6.
Working towards 30 minutes sitting in the dugout. Verlander up and down to the clubhouse as his team has collected 4 runs so far in the top half of the 7th inning. Loop to center field. Crisp coming in. Coco will make the catch that will end the inning. But it's a big one for the Detroit Tigers. They score 4 times. 7th inning stretch, 6-0 Tigers. In a big way, they score 4 times in the 7th inning. Jared Parker hung in there for a long time for the A's. He gets the 2nd start of this postseason. And right now, the Tigers have opened this game up. It is 6-0. As we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning back here at O.Co Coliseum. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, and Buck, a huge inning just took place for the Detroit Tigers. And finally, they got some big hits offensively.
Well, they sure do, and they took advantage of an error at shortstop, and Miguel Cabrera was hit with the bases loaded for an RBI. They still really haven't pounded the ball the way they did all season long, but they took advantage of some mistakes by Oakland tonight. A couple of wild pitches in that 2nd inning and that 3rd inning where 2 runs scored, and I think overall Oakland has been a little bit on edge tonight. They've not been able to come through against Justin Verlander throughout the 2 starts in this series with runners in scoring position. They've shut them down perfectly, and Verlander once again has his great stuff, and he got it early in this ball game. He threw just 13 pitches in the 1st inning to really get into the flow of the game.
Well, again, a long wait for Verlander as it works out, and about 30 minutes, but his team collects 4 runs, and he's got a 6-0 advantage as he returns to the hill. Yoenis Cespedes has one of only 2 hits given up tonight by Verlander. Cespedes doubled back in the 1st inning, lined out to center in the 4th inning. Wondering about the other A's hit. Brandon Moss with a single in the 5th. Worked out officially to be a 33-minute wait. And first pitch swinging is Cespedes. Foul ball. And heading over is Fielder, and he makes the catch. Couldn't find it, threw the arms out as if to say, I don't have it. And then finds it in the end and makes the catch with Alex Avila alongside.
It's always a much better play for a corner infielder to take this ball away from the catcher. And Fielder's looking at Avila. Avila looks back at Fielder, and then Fielder says, I'll take it. These 2 ran together earlier in the season, and this time Avila's going to make sure he doesn't run into big Prince Fielder at first, and Fielder took command right at the end. Once one last look at Avila and said, okay, I'll call for it, and makes the grab.
He's happy to find it in his glove. It's out number 1 of the 7th inning. Seth Smith, the batter. Smith 0 for 2. He's grounded back to the mound and struck out swinging. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike now to Seth Smith.
So far, it doesn't look like the long delay for Verlander has affected him one bit. He threw a very good changeup right there to even the count of the ball and the strike.
Verlander with 8 strikeouts in the game. Has walked only 1. In the air down the right field line. It'll hook foul. Not ahead of that was Seth Smith.
Smith had a home run in game 3 against Anibal Sanchez and has a lot of power, and Verlander certainly has the cushion with a 6-0 lead to go ahead and throw that fastball in the inside part of the plate.
Towel coming out onto the field in the right field corner. Taken care of here. A brief delay. 2-2 pitch. Smith will strike out. 2 down in the 7th inning. Let's check in with Matt Weiner in our Atlanta studio. Matt.
Thank you, Don. It's a Bank of America game break and an update on what's going on in the Bronx. And what's going on is that Baltimore has taken a lead in the top of the 13th. Manny Machado led off with a double, advanced to third on a ground out, and J.J. Hardy delivered him with an RBI double. We've gone to the bottom of the 13th, but the O's lead it 2-1.
An exciting game tonight in the Bronx again. What a tight series that has been so far. And right now the Tigers with a 6-0 advantage here in Game 5 of this American League Division Series. Reddick with a swing and a miss.
Well, it's been a great start to the postseason with all the great games back and forth. Jason Worth with the walk-off home run today. Ibanez last night. Coco Crisp with a walk-off hit. A lot of exciting finishes to some tight ball games.
Reddick strikes out. That's 10 strikeouts for Verlander. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Through 7, Tigers have a 6-0 lead in Game 5. Advantage just after midnight on the East Coast, just after 9 p.m. here in the West. And a new pitcher for the Oakland A's. Evan Scribner becomes the 4th A's pitcher of the game. He was claimed off waivers from the Padres in the offseason.
Scribner had 3 different stints with the Oakland A's, going back and forth between AAA Sacramento. He made 30 appearances, a 2-0 record. This is his first postseason appearance as he comes into this 6-0 ball game.
Alex Avila will lead it off here for the Tigers in the 8th. Did the bulk of their damage in the 7th, scoring 4 times. 4 runs charged to Parker, 2 to Ryan Cook. Evan Scribner, the 4th Oakland pitcher of the night. And a pitch outside for ball 1. This one is popped up foul. Donaldson gives chase, but that'll get back into the seats and out of play.
You could see the look around this ballpark as the fans appear to be thinking, well, this thing might come to an end tonight. They're down 6-0 to Detroit. It's been a magical ride. This team has won their last 8 home games, including the first 2 of this part of the division series. They lost the first 2 in Detroit, came home with their backs against the wall. Even the series of 2 games apiece, and then we're in tough against Justin Verlander tonight.
And all the games very close, as this one has been opened up a tad by the Tigers.
Yeah, there's a fan with a Oakland jersey and a Baltimore hat next to a Giants fan, and Giants have advanced.
There's strike 3 to Avila. Well, there's a relationship and a history between Bob Melvin and Jim Leland. With more, here's Jamie Maggio.
Thanks, Don. Well, back in 1981, Bob Melvin was a young catcher playing in the Detroit Tigers Instructional League. He was playing for Jim Leland. I asked Leland about Melvin back then. He joked. He said, yeah, he wasn't a very good hitter. But then he said something very heartfelt. He said, you know what? He was a smart guy and a hard worker. And I'll tell you what, he is a terrific manager. He will be managing in this league for a very long time.
We think about Manager of the Year candidates, and Buck Showalter has got to be named in the same conversation with what he was able to accomplish this year with the Orioles. Both those teams, really, you think about it, the Orioles and the Oakland A's, and should the A's season come to an end tonight, what a terrific ride it has been.
Yeah, it sure has. And Jim Leland suggested that both Melvin and Buck Showalter should be co-managers of the year, given what they've done with their respective ball clubs. And nobody, I mean nobody, expected Baltimore and Oakland to be in the postseason.
Give an honorable mention to Joe Madden and the work that he did again this year in Tampa Bay. That's in there for strike 3. Scribner back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th.
Scribner has a very good curveball, but it's the fastball that gets Infante, and there's another pitch on that third base side of home plate that Wally Bell has called a strike all night long for both pitchers.
We're talking about how close this series has been, and this is really the first time that it has been a big advantage for one side or the other. The margins of victory in the first 4 games. Game 1, 2 runs. Game 2, a run. Game 3, 2 runs, and last night a 1-run victory. So it's been tight until this point of the series. 2 outs in the 8th and a fly ball to right field. Josh Reddick backing over, makes the catch. A 1-2-3 top of the 8th. A's are coming up with work to do. 6-0 Tigers.
In this one,
a double in the first for Cespedes, single for Moss in the 5th inning, a walk mixed in. That's been it. 10 strikeouts in his outing so far tonight, and Josh Donaldson leads it off here for the A's in the 8th. Donaldson takes ball 1. Verlander in his 2 games has 21 strikeouts. It equals a record for most strikeouts in a division series. It's tied right now with Cliff Lee and Kevin Brown. 1-0 foul back off to the right. We welcome those of you who are watching extra inning baseball from the Bronx tonight, and the victory for the Orioles 2-1. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, Jamie Maggio in this game 5 of the American League Division Series from Oakland. And it has been all Tigers. 2 runs in the 3rd, 4 in the 7th. And Verlander on the mound for the Tigers. Enough said. 100th pitch of his night coming. And it's fouled off to the right.
Well, we mentioned the comeback kids. The Oakland Athletics had 44 regular season comeback wins. The comeback kids, and only the Yankees among the postseason teams have had more comeback wins than Oakland. But their biggest deficit they've overcome this year to this point was 4 runs.
Donaldson will send this into left field. Quentin Berry's over to play it. Donaldson's got something started for the A's. 7 in a row have been retired by Verlander prior to that base hit by Donaldson.
Now, Donaldson had the double in last night's game off Valverde to make it 2nd and 3rd and set up the game-tying double by Seth Smith, and here he starts off the 8th. This is a never say die ball club, and Donaldson gets it started.
First time in the game the A's have had the lead runner on. Brandon Moss, the batter. Moss has been on twice. Walk in the 2nd, singled in the 5th.
You can see nobody's stirring down in the Tigers bullpen. This is all Justin Verlander.
Runner goes. Moss swings and fouls it off.
Yeah, the Tigers weren't holding Donaldson on. The middle infielders didn't even cover. And Leland's trying to get Alex Avila's attention.
The 1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and it is 0-2. Verlander with 10 Ks, 1 walk. The 0-2 pitch. In the air to shallow left center field. Jackson and Berry coming together, and it's Austin Jackson who makes the catch for the first out.
Jackson took charge of that pop-up. Quentin Berry, the left fielder, called for it initially, and Jackson just called him off. He stayed with it and took charge, and That's his call. He's got priority in the outfield.
Johnny Gomes going to make an appearance here for the A's. Great fan favorite and team leader here for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to get him in at bat in this situation. He has been such an instrumental part, even though he's not an everyday player. The pride of Petaluma, just north of Oakland, gets a chance to get an at bat and maybe spark a comeback. But more than anything, I think Bob Melvin is just wanting to make sure Johnny Gomes gets a chance to bat in this series.
See his numbers during the regular season. Bats for Derek Norris, the catcher. We'll finish this ALDS 1 for 12. He struck out twice tonight against Verlander. Gomes looks at strike one. Gomes returning to the American League this year after spending the past 3 years in the National League with the Reds and Nationals. Majority of his starts came as the A's DH. It's a high fly ball to left that'll bring Barry in from left field. 2 down in the inning. Well, it has been a terrific postseason so far right here on TBS, and tomorrow another great day. Orioles and Yankees have played Game 5 of that American League Division Series, and in the NLDS another Game 5. The Cardinals and Nationals, Game 1 at 5, Game 2 at 8:30, both Eastern times. What a terrific postseason it has been so far. Cliff Pennington will take strike one.
Pitching probables for that Yankee Oriole game tomorrow. CC Sabathia against Jason Hamill. In the National League, Adam Wainwright will go up against Gio Gonzalez. So great pitching matchups in the final 2 Game 5s.
Pennington fouls it off, down 0-2. He is 0 for 2 in the game. Grounded to short, grounded to second. Lined into right field, a base hit. Donaldson will take second base on the single for Pennington. Solid contact there. And the A's have runners at first and second with 2 down.
First hit of the night for Cliff Pennington. This ball works its way out over the plate, and Pennington just drives it into right, trying to come inside with that fastball, and got away from Verlander. And Pennington's able to keep the inning alive.
First time the A's have had 2 runners on base in an inning tonight. The Bernie dance as Coco Crisp is at the plate. Coco an 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out in the first. It's grounded out twice since. Crisp will ground it softly right side, and Fonte goes to first. Inning over. The A's strand a pair. We're through 8 in Game 5. The Tigers have a 6-0 lead. The bottom of the 8th. And it is Quentin Berry to lead it off here for the Tigers in the top of the 9th inning. Berry's been on twice, a double and a walk. He's had a sacrifice bunt and a foul out. His swing and miss for strike one. Evan Scribner, who pitched a perfect 8th, is back out there for the 9th. They've spread it around pretty good for the Tigers offensively, as that's a strike, and it's 0-2. They have 9 hits in the game, and only Miguel Cabrera and Alex Avila do not have hits in the starting 9.
Prince Fielder picked up an RBI single in the 7th, part of that 4-run 7th inning.
Swing and a miss. The Scribner's looked very good since coming in. His 3rd K, 1 down in the 9th.
Scribner struck out Alex Avila and Omar Infante in the 8th, and he gets Quentin Berry to start the 9th. A good fastball with late movement down and away to Quentin Berry. Dave Dombrowski, the CEO and general manager of the Detroit Tigers, was anticipating a celebration last night. And you can bet he's not taking anything for granted after the way the A's came back and won it in the 9th last night.
Strike 2, and it's 0-2. Miguel Cabrera tonight has been contained. He is grounded out, flied out, grounded out, hit by a pitch, picked up an RBI because hit by the pitch with the bases loaded. And his first RBI of this ALDS. Outside, not chasing, 1-2.
Oakland did a great job of really pitching Cabrera tough in game 2. He had 3 hits and was on base 4 times in game 2. But other than that, they have done a good job of neutralizing that potent bat.
Popped up, foul ground. Kataris discards the mask and will make the catch for the 2nd out of the 9th. 5 in a row retired by Evan Scribner, 2 down. Prince Fielder coming to the plate here in the 9th inning. Well, Justin Verlander tonight has gone the first 8 innings for the Tigers. 15 games this season. He's gone at least 8 innings. First career in the postseason. And at the end of 8, he's got 111 pitches. Nobody warming in the pen.
Nobody even thinking about warming up. They've all got their jackets on.
Nobody even stretching, just for good measure.
Yeah, this is all about Justin Verlander playing the role of the ace very effectively. Verlander had 6 complete games during the regular season.
Fielder after a 1-1 up the middle. Stephen Drew moves over. Sidearm toss in time, inning over. The Tigers are 3 outs away from moving on. They lead at 6-0.
He threw down the gauntlet and said, you know what, fellas, you're in for a tough night. He struck out the first 2 batters of the ballgame, Coco Crisp, Stephen Drew, and then retired Seth Smith on a comebacker, and he has done exactly what the Tigers needed tonight.
Here is Stephen Drew to lead it off in the 9th inning for the A's. And he fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. Some changes for the Tigers. Andy Dirks moves from right to left. Avisail Garcia takes over in right field. Defensive purposes here for Jim Leland in the 9th. Drew looks at strike 2. Verlander trying to go all the way. The last complete game win for Detroit in the postseason. Got to go back to the '84 World Series and Jack Morris in game 4.
Verlander, if he wins this, and obviously he's got a comfortable lead, he will become the first Tiger pitcher to win 2 games in a postseason series since Jack Morris in that '84 World Series.
This is popped up, foul ground as Avila comes back, but he will not have a play.
This is why the Tigers are feared in the postseason. They're starting pitching. Verlander, Pfister, Scherzer, they can all shut down anybody. And that's why they're so dangerous in the postseason series.
Their 3-4 combination in their lineup, despite what they've done in this series, also very impressive as well.
Yeah, and they've got a chance in a 7-game series to revert to what they did in the regular season.
Drew strikes out for the 4th time, and that is a new record, as that is 22 strikeouts in the division series. That's the most ever for a pitcher, as surpassing Cliff Lee and Kevin Brown is Justin Verlander. Cliff Lee 2010 in the Texas Tampa Bay series at 21, and Kevin Brown in 98 Padres Astros series at 21. But Verlander now 22 strikeouts in his 2 starts in the ALDS. That's 11 in this game.
And Verlander's done a great job economizing on his pitches. He's only thrown 116 pitches, even factoring in the strikeouts. He's been impressive tonight.
Cespedes, one of only the 4 hits the A's have put together in the game tonight. He doubled in the first, and he'll chop one to short. Peralta's got it, his throw. 2 down in the 9th. Well, this magical season is an out away for ending for the A's. AL West champions. They trailed by 13 games back on June 30th. A's record without Cespedes 12-22. Malone and Parker with 13 wins each. An A's rookie record at 14 walk-off wins led Major League Baseball, and they had one in Game 4 a night ago. Well, the magic may come to an end for Bob Melvin and the A's.
94 win season, and they won the West by sweeping the Rangers in the final series of the year.
2 down in the 9th for Seth Smith, and he will take ball 1. The Tigers are trying to get to the American League Championship Series for the 3rd time in the last 7 years. Smith has grounded out, struck out twice. 1-0. Ground ball down the first baseline. It is a foul ball picked up by Prince Fielder.
Jim Leyland looks calm, but I can tell you his stomach is churning, and he just took a deep breath right there and let out the tension. But he has the ultimate respect for this Oakland ball club, and they made it very tough on a veteran Tiger team, pushing it to a Game 5 by winning in walk-off fashion in Game 4.
1-1 to Seth Smith. Ground ball fouled again, and it's 1-2.
Jim Leyland really acknowledged what this Oakland A's team did when he looked at their schedule late in the season. They played 17 of 20 on the road and went 12-8 during that stretch. So he knew they were going to be a tough opponent in this series.
Not one base runner has reached 3rd for the A's. Here's a ground ball right side. Omar Infante to first. The Detroit Tigers are headed to the American League Championship Series, and the magical season for the Oakland A's has come to an end. The Tigers will celebrate here in Oakland. A's coming out to salute their fans. What a run it was for Oakland, but it's the Tigers who are moving on.
A great series, well played by both ball clubs, but tonight Justin Verlander was the man. 6 complete games during the regular season, and the biggest complete game of his season tonight here in Oakland as he shut down the A's dramatically on just 4 hits. He established a new strikeout record for the division series, and the run has come to an end, and the Tigers will advance and take on the winner of the Yankees-Orioles Game 5 tomorrow night.
The complete game shutout, the last shutout. Joe Coleman, 72 ALCS for the Tigers, and that was against Oakland as well. And a moment here for Jim Leland and Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder wasn't signed by the Tigers until late in January after Victor Martinez suffered a season-ending knee injury. Mike Ilitch, the owner of the Tigers, stepped up, paid big money to bring in Fielder, and now they have taken the first step in their drive toward the World Series.
Dave Dombrowski can finally celebrate after anxious moments last night and a crushing defeat in Game 4.
Well, they all know how difficult it is to win a division first, then a division series, and you're playing against the best in baseball. And there was a lot of magic in this Oakland A's season this year.
Let's send it down to Jamie Maggio with Justin Verlander.
All right, thank you, Don. Justin, a complete game shutout, another dominating performance for you. But what was the difference in the first innings in Game 1 versus tonight?
You know, just kind of getting the feeling of what this playoff experience is like, kind of getting those under your belt and just realizing how your body's going to react. It was a bit different here. These fans were, you can hear them now, just absolutely amazing. This is a really tough place to play, and the fans made it that way, and Oakland played great. But we won.
How much were you relying on your changeup tonight?
You know, I saw pretty early it was pretty good. And with as many left-handers as they have in this lineup, I was hoping it'd be good. So, you know, I could tell with Coco that he saw fastball out of my hand and took a bad swing the first time I threw it. So just knew from there on it'd probably be pretty good.
Tigers advance to the ALCS for the 2nd year in a row. Why does this team have a better chance?
Because we're a team, you know, we've had our backs against the wall all year, you know, and we're playing our best baseball now when it matters.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. Celebration beginning in the clubhouse for the Tigers. Well deserved.
Here's the final line score for this evening's game, ladies and gentlemen. The Detroit Tigers, 9 hits, no errors.
The final out of this complete game shutout for Justin Verlander and the Detroit Tigers, who head to the ALCS for the 3rd time in the last 7 years. Tigers are headed to the American League Championship Series.
So many contributors to this effort this season, of course. Cabrera and Fielder got the attention. Cabrera with the Triple Crown, Verlander the ace of the staff, and you can see the reaction. No matter how many times you've been through this, it's special to know that you've made it one more time to the next level of the playoffs. The Tigers thought they were going to have this celebration last night, but the A's spoiled that party. But Justin Verlander took control of this game in the 1st inning, and he was on the mound for the final out.
So the Tigers will wait to see who they'll play next.
Tigers saw a Game 4 win slip from their grasp last night, forcing this nail-biting Game 5. But as we know with this team by now, if it ain't rough, it ain't right. The Tigers are now moving on And here to celebrate tonight is Mario Mpemba, Rod Allen, and Craig Monroe. And Craig, never a doubt, was there?
Never a doubt. Not when I've got a chance to play with this guy here, Justin Verlander, who wants to be in this moment, wants to get the ball, and he goes out and be the horse that the Tigers needed him to be.
No question. He was the star tonight. Mario, Rod, it went 2 games longer than a lot of people hope, but all that matters now is that there will be a tomorrow for the Tigers.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Mick. And for me, this was all about an ace putting his team on his back after a stunning loss last night in the 9th inning. Verlander said, we're not losing tonight. And he went the distance, and the Tigers got enough offense. They had that big 4-run 7th inning, which kind of bridged the gap and got them to that 9th inning, Rod. And this time there was no stress to be had in the 9th inning.
You have to give the table setters a lot of credit in this series because without Omar Infante, the Tigers, they're not moving on. He was outstanding. Jackson got loose today. Barry was on base a couple of times. Miguel and Prince, they didn't really get loose in the series, but the table setters were able to help the Tigers do just enough to advance.
That they did, and Justin Verlander took care of the rest. Let's get you to tonight's highlights presented by Wall Side Windows. And, well, the night got started in fantastic fashion for the A's tonight. Former Athletics ball boy MC Hammer throwing out the first pitch, but it was the Tigers that were too legit to quit. Scoreless game in the 3rd. Stop. Hammer time. Austin Jackson gets good wood and pushes that to the gap in left center. Omar Infante comes in to score. An RBI double for Jackson. 1-0. Tigers strike first for the 2nd straight game. And after Jackson got bunted to 3rd, Jared Parker uncorks the wild pitch. Jackson races home. That's what small ball can do for you. 2-0 Tigers. And then Justin Verlander channeling his best MC Hammer. Let it be known to the A's that you can't touch this. Derek Norris striking the post. Stephen Drew blew by you. Seth Smith, you may take your seat, sir. And then Norris comes back for some more. JV struck out 11 in game 1, 8 through the first 6 innings tonight. In the 7th, the Tigers finally break it open. Jackson with a shot into right scores Johnny Peralta to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead. And then Miguel Cabrera comes up with the bases loaded. On a new 0-2 pitch, Ryan Cook plunks him, forces in another run, 4-0. Tigers bases still loaded for Fielder. Bloops one in the center. Chris playing way deep, can't get there. Jackson comes in to score, make it 5-0. Tigers chipping away. Here's Delman Young. Rifles one to Stephen Drew. He can't handle it. That scores Quentin Berry. It's a 4 spot in the 7th, and the Tigers build themselves a 6-run cushion. To the 9th we go. Justin Verlander going for the complete game. Seth Smith, the A's last hope. Verlander gets him in a ground out to second to end it, setting off the celebration in Oakland. They have celebrated there before. They know how to get it done. 6-0, the final for the 2nd straight year. The Tigers are American League Championship Series bound. Verlander, the star tonight, 11 Ks, wins 2 games in the postseason. The first Tiger to do so since Jack Morris won 2 in the '84 World Series. And again, just enough offense to get it done for the Tigers tonight. And back in Oakland, John Keating caught up with Miguel Cabrera as he was coming out of the celebration.
Thank you. All right, Mick, thanks. Miguel Cabrera paying tribute to the Oakland fans and the Oakland A's as you celebrate another trip back to the ALCS. Put this moment into some perspective for me.
Yeah, it was him went wrong with his team. We got to give a lot of credit. They fight to it last time. It was tough playing here. It was very tough. This fight always 100% the game. You know, we got the best pitch in the game. And he did it, man. He did it. It's why he's the best.
You won this one big ultimately, but this was a skinny game. This was tight throughout.
Yeah, but we always believe we can do it. We come here to win 1 game, and we did it, you know. It was a lot of speculation. We were not going to do it, but we always win. You got to believe. You got to believe, and we did it.
How much fun is it to play behind Justin Verlander?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, you know. He keep you in the game. Like I say, he the best. He the best. Ooh.
Do you care who you play, New York or Baltimore?
Oh, really? That's very tough to eat. We care we won. That's why we won. That's why we care. We won this one. Hopefully we can play hard next year and win it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There's Miguel Cabrera. It will be bedlam in the Tigers clubhouse. We're headed there, Mick.
All right. right, John. He's about to ruin another suit. He's been burning through a lot of them here in this postseason. Craig, Rod, Mario, let's begin with Justin Verlander. 22 strikeouts in the 2 games he pitched, ties the postseason series record held by Hal Newhouser, and he's just the 4th Tiger to throw a complete game postseason shutout. But Mario, I mean, just like in Game 1, the A's looked overmatched at times out there tonight.
They did. 11 strikeouts in each game. And the concern that you might have had with Justin Verlander is his pitch count, because obviously with a lot of strikeouts comes a higher pitch count. But Rod, without question, this entire game, his pitch count was in great shape despite 11 strikeouts, and well, he had all 4 pitches going again tonight.
You know, I talked to David Dombrowski. This is when they clinched in Kansas City, and David Dombrowski told me he had just had a conversation with Justin Verlander, and he told Justin, this is your year. You're going to have a big postseason. Verlander pitched 4 times against the Athletics this year. 2 times during the regular season, a couple of times in the postseason, and today his fastball was overpowering. He had an outstanding changeup. He had a really good breaking ball. Well, he was simply Justin Verlander. He was also able to contain Coco Crisp. When Verlander goes out there and he is on top of his game like he was here today, he didn't miss over the plate all night long. Fastball got up to 96. On occasion, he got all the way up to 98 miles an hour. He threw everything else in between. But Justin Verlander, pitching in very hostile environment, he was able to take the crowd out of the game really early in this contest. And when Justin Verlander starts to walk on his tippy toes and walk with his shoulders back, you know it's going to be a long, long day for the opposition. And he was doing all that today. He had his big boy pants on tonight.
Yeah, that he did. And Craig, you said before the game even started that they needed to get 9 from Verlander tonight. That's what you ordered, and he delivered.
That's exactly what he did. Mick, when you play with a guy and you get a chance to see how they are and their makeup, this guy here has an unbelievable makeup. He is not human. He loves the moments, and this is what big-time pitchers do. And Justin Verlander, hands down, is the best pitcher in baseball.
All right, thanks, guys. Lots, of course, to get to tonight. We're just getting started here on Tigers Live. Coming up next on the big show, we'll take you back out to Oakland. We give you an all-access pass into the champagne-soaked clubhouse in Oakland. We'll all hear from the players. We'll take you to Jim Leyland's post-game press conference as well, and plenty more with Mario, Rod, and Simo when we continue from the call center.
Parker on the way, swinging a drive to center. He hit it hard. On the run is Coco Crisp. He won't get this one. It's off the base of the wall. Rounding third, heading home is Infante Jackson will round second and hold. He hit an absolute bullet to the wall in center, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead here in the third.
Yeah, 2-hit, 2 RBI night for Austin Jackson, who helps the Tigers clinch for just the 3rd time in their 7 series when tied at 2 games apiece. The Tigers hold on to win this series, and they advance to the ALCS for the 2nd straight year. The celebration is underway in the Tigers clubhouse in Oakland, where John Keating has caught up with Tigers pitcher Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer has already had his post-game shower. How much fun is this?
Oh my God, nothing like it. We are in Game 5 in this situation. We know it's on the line. For Ver to be able to go out there and to do everything he did, I mean, that's just incredible.
You know what great pitching is like. How great was his pitching tonight?
Better than great. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen. He was on top of everything. All of his pitches, he kept them completely off balance, and we came through clutch with our offense. So to be able to win 6-0 like this, oh man, what a feeling.
Was that as amped up as you have seen him?
No, I mean, that's him. I mean, he always comes with that type of energy. For him to be able to deliver a performance we need like this, there's nothing better.
All right, I want to let you get to the party, but put this in some perspective for us. How much does this team believe that you can do something special once you move on to the ALCS?
Oh, anything. Now we're, 4 wins away from winning the World Series. We believe how good we are. We know whoever team we're going to face is going to be just as good. It's just going to come down to us performing.
Get on in there. Get on in there. Andy, we got Andy Dirks is with us. You've been wearing a smile, I think probably the back half of this season. This smile is going to stick with you for a while.
Yeah, it will. That was a good battle series right there. I mean, both teams go at it hard the whole time. Tonight we had Burr on the mound, and he was amazing. And we put together some runs, and here we are having a good time now.
It was a battle, wasn't it? I mean, this is a team that really didn't go away, and I'm not sure. Delman Young with the assist. The goggles have come in handy. Best shower you've ever had?
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I'm not sure that anybody thought that the A's could be this tough for this long, but they took you to a Game 5. They believed, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You know, they battled, and everybody wants to talk about how they were battling. We were doing the same thing the whole season, you know, and hats off to them. They did a great job this year. They had a great team, great pitching staff, and they had some good rallies, you know, but in the end, we finally beat them, and it feels really good. We're going to enjoy the moment right now.
All right, your role gets bigger going to the ALCS than it might have been last time. How much are you looking forward to this?
I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to get it started.
Get on in there. Andy Dirks, Mick, back to you.
Oh, they're not having any fun in there at all, are they? Craig Monroe, of course, has been in the middle of a couple of those celebrations during his baseball career. There's nothing better, is it?
No. That's the best feeling when everybody has put it on the line and you go out and you get to get in that clubhouse and celebrate. It doesn't get any better than that, Mick.
It doesn't get old either. Mario Rod, you've been smack dab in the middle of a couple of those as well. I think the best goggles I've seen in the postseason celebration are Max Scherzer going with the heterochromia goggles there. Even had the mismatched colors over his eyes. Those were great.
Well, you know, one of the thing that strikes me about these celebrations now, the locker room, the eyewear is getting much more sophisticated. We saw Avila with a snorkel when we clinched in Kansas City, and now you've got the swim goggles. But that kind of brings back memories, Rod, because it was in that very clubhouse last year that the Tigers clinched the American League Central Division. So those things are always fun.
Them goggles Alex had on were ugly, though. They was flat out ugly, though. But it's beautiful just to watch these guys celebrate once again. It's awfully fun. From an announcer standpoint, when you're in that locker room and guys are having fun, guys are letting their hair down. This team is a scary team right now. Once they got into the postseason, they were able to exhale, and a team that's confident and exhales in the postseason is a dangerous club.
2 champagne celebrations down, hopefully 2 more to go. Still much more to get to here on Tigers Live. We'll continue to bring you all the festivities from the Tigers clubhouse. We're also here from Jim Leland. John Keating trying to dodge the champagne spray. The skipper set to weigh in on taking the Tigers to the ALCS for the 2nd straight year when we continue right after this. Dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City, and by Bell Tire. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. 6-0, Tigers shut out the A's and win Game 5. They're off to the ALCS somewhere against somebody. We know Game 1 will be on Saturday, and right now we presume that Doug Fister will be the Game 1 starter. And back in Oakland, he's with John Keating inside the clubhouse.
All right, Mick, with Doug Fister, who we think is going to start Game 1. Have you been told what your role will be in this rotation?
Not as of yet. You know, we're really trying to just enjoy this this moment. This is a good team win. You know, Justin came out and threw the heck out of the ball today. Offense, you know, came out and swung the bats terrifically. You know, I mean, it's an all-around great day, and so you know, it's going to be a great flight home and see how the series over on the East Coast right now turns out.
You've got a chance to see Justin at You've got a chance to see Justin. Yeah, the goggles are coming handy. You've got to see Justin at some of his best. Was that as good as you've seen him?
You know, he was terrific tonight. You know, he stepped it up and really handled pressure well at times. You know, he really stayed within himself. You know, and he didn't try to go out and do too much, and he really used the defense well, and you know, obviously got a lot of strikeouts too.
Was this series sort of a parallel to your season, because you've had to overcome some bumps along the way, and yet you can enjoy this at the end even more than you might otherwise?
You know, it's just like we said before. You know, we went through some ups and downs throughout the season, and it teaches us how to deal with adversity, and that's the epitome of what we've gotten here. You know, we took care of business at home, had a couple struggles here for the first 2 games, and you know, just came back and really refocused and you know, took care of business Game 5.
There's not much time to enjoy this, but I'm going to guess that your team is going to cram as much of that enjoyment into the smallest space as possible.
That's exactly what we're doing right now. We're going to enjoy this tonight, have a great flight home, and you know, be ready for business tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
There's Doug Fister. Mick.
All right, John, thank you. Up next, more to come from the clubhouse. Austin Jackson came up big tonight. We'll hear from him, Gerald Laird, and just about everyone else when Tigers Live continues after this ALDS clinching win tonight in Oakland. Action well underway in Oakland tonight following the 6-0 win over the A's in Game 5 of the American League Division Series. And C-Mel, we talked before the game about the need for Austin Jackson to get it going. Have been having a tough series, but he came through big time tonight with 2 hits and 2 RBI.
Well, Jackson is the catalyst. I mean, we've been talking about this all year. This guy here, as he goes, this team, this offense go, and this is exactly what happened today. If you pay really close attention, Mick, these guys were throwing him a lot of breaking balls, a lot of sliders, and he was chasing out of the strike zone. This is what teams are going to do when they see that they have exploited a weakness. But I love what Jackson does tonight. He made an adjustment, Mick, and when they hung that slider today, he did not miss it. He shot one to dead center field, and then he got loose again on a fastball down and away because he was looking for that ball to travel and drive it through the big part of the field, and the catalyst did what he does, get it done.
And Mario Rod, he was stinging the ball tonight.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, there was no doubt that in the middle of the season when Jackson went on the disabled list, the Tigers' offense just was not nearly as efficient as it is when he is in the offense and in the starting lineup. He was 3 for 16, Rod, before that double to not get a run the first run of the game. He finished with a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs. There's no doubt that going forward, Jackson is going to need more of that. The Tigers will need more of that to be more efficient.
You know, it's all part of the maturation process, and we've well documented where Jackson has gone from last year, where he struck out a bunch, to this year. Still striking out, but not nearly as much. He's a stellar player on both sides of the ball. The Tigers, when he is getting off like he did today, they are a much more efficient team, and he's one of the main reasons why they were able to win the game and win this series. Jackson had a really good series as far as getting on base, catching everything in center field.
Time to hear from Austin now. He's with John Keating. We send you back inside the Tigers clubhouse for tonight's Bell Tire interview.
One of the main culprits in the shower giving, I think, has been Austin Jackson. That's most of the fun, isn't it? That's most of the battle, making sure everybody else gets splashed.
Oh, definitely. It's a great team win for us, so everybody needs to enjoy it. And it was just great. It was a tough match for us. You got to tip your hats off to Oakland. It was a great battle for us.
This was a 2-run game for most of the night, and then all of a sudden in the 7th inning you got going. How much did that give you a chance to breathe?
Oh, it definitely gave us a chance. But you're never sure, though. You never know what this
especially against this Oakland team that seems to come back.
Oh, man, they can come back at any time, at any moment. So it was good that Justin went out there and he kept the pressure on him.
All right, from your position in center field, you were watching him work. Was that as good as you've ever seen him on this kind of stage?
It's definitely one of the best. In that pressure situation like that, you know, he came through for us and he stayed composed the whole night.
Do you care, Orioles or Yankees right now?
No, not really. We're just going to enjoy this and get back and prepare for it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Orioles, Yankees, it doesn't matter. Eventually they'll have to run into this guy. He was lights out tonight. What more can you say? Not a whole heck of a lot. That's why we'll leave it up to Verlander to speak. We'll take it to his post-game press conference when Tigers Live continues. And then inspired a lot of confidence heading into Game 5 tonight. It all came down to Justin Verlander. The question is often asked, if you had to win one game, who would you want on the mound? Well, that answer right now is unequivocally JV. His 5th postseason win is now the most in franchise history. And because it's the latest, it'll be the biggest. Justin at the podium now as we send you back to Oakland, who he's also joined by Tigers center fielder Austin Jackson.
For me, personally, this has got to be right up there. I mean, I think this is number 1. You know, the 2 no-hitters are obviously up there, but that's something a little bit different. This is a win or go home. My team needs me, and I was able to go out there and have one of the better performances I've had. So for me, I think this is number 1 personally.
Austin?
It was just a great win for us. You know, it was a pressure situation for us, and we knew coming in it was going to be a tough battle. You know, you got to tip your hat to Oakland and what they accomplished this year. And we knew it was going to be tough, and it definitely has to be up there with one of the better games we played this year.
How about for you personally?
Well, it felt good to kind of get things started. You know, getting scoring position for the big guys behind me, and you know, score some runs. That's my job, and that's what I'm trying to do.
On the right, Jeff.
Justin, Jim said that you had a complete game look in your eye before the game today. Did you feel any extra, you know, I'm going to do this myself kind of feeling?
Yes and no. You know, I think it was one of those things where I expected to go 9 innings, but at the same time, if it didn't happen, I got faith in my guys behind us, regardless of what happened the night before. You know, specifically speaking of Valverde, closers blow saves. It happens in baseball, and we've seen him do it before, and we've seen him come right back the next day and be fantastic. So, I've got the most faith in those guys behind me. But at the same time, in this situation, in a Game 5, I wanted to go all the way.
Barry, down here in front.
Hey, Justin, you took one of the great champagne baths I've ever seen in a clubhouse just now. What was that like?
It was awesome and horrible at the same time because you can't see a thing. Your eyes are burning, and all I want to do is look up and celebrate with my teammates, but I can't see anything. All I can do is look down and shut my eyes as hard as I can. But having your teammates surround you and just dump champagne on you is an experience I'll never forget and I'll take with me forever.
And then secondarily, you did this last year. Obviously, it wasn't you on the mound at Yankee Stadium, but then you went to the next round and you fell short. I imagine in your mind this must be, okay, we took this next step, now let's make it to the World Series.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys on this team have experienced the postseason, and I think just experience helps to be able to perform in that scenario. Just knowing how not to press too much and be able to use the adrenaline to your advantage. So I think experiences last year are going to be huge for us. And like I've said this many times, this last whole month of the season, we've been playing pressure games where our backs are against the wall. We won the games that we needed to win, and I think that bodes extremely well for us as a team, moving forward in the playoffs because every game's a must-win.
And Justin Verlander's the Tigers' Arby's player of the game. He went 4-0 versus Oakland this year, including the postseason, finishing with a .62 ERA. 29 innings, struck out 35 A's. Pretty good. Up next on Tigers Live, we'll take you back to the clubhouse. Prince Fielder getting doused with some sparkling cider from his son. We'll have more from the clubhouse celebration when we return right after this. And also tonight on Twitter, holy smokes, as I hope the Tigers fans really understand what a luxury we have in JV. This kind of dominance is rare. Yeah, no question about that. The same can be said about Miguel Cabrera, even though he didn't have a great ALDS. Prince Fielder, same said for him. But Craig, you know he's going to get his, and he did find a way to make an impact in this series.
I just love this guy. I mean, he plays the game the right way. He is a leader on and off the field. But let's just think about some things for a minute. He hit behind an MVP guy named Ryan Braun over in Milwaukee, and now he's hitting behind a Triple Crown winner. This guy here is a bad boy.
And Mario Rod, you got a chance to see him all season long, and I think the appreciation for somebody like Prince grows when you get to see him day in and day out. We didn't see him every day or have that luxury to watch him play every day in Milwaukee, but you realize what a special player he is when you see the way he brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Yeah, Mick, and you have to see him play every day to realize how hard he plays the game. I don't think I ever saw him not run out a routine ground ball to second base. The fact that he literally played in every game this year, very impressive to me, and I think in a small way the MVP and the Triple Crown for Miguel Cabrera, you got to give a little piece of that to Prince Fielder hitting behind him because he forced the managers to pitch a little bit more to Miguel this year.
Most definitely a blue-collar worker, and Mick brought it up. This guy brings his lunch pail to work every single day. And yes, he does have some groceries in there. He's a big man. But when he showed up in Lakeland, Florida this year in mid-February, he fit right into the clubhouse. He worked hard every single day. He was the first one there, last one to leave. Played 162 games this year, and Mario also said it. He runs out every ground ball. He is a really good player and an outstanding baseball player.
And he is a nice concierge to have if you want to win an MVP. And he was celebrating with his son in the clubhouse a moment ago. And just a couple of seconds ago, John Keating caught up with the Tigers' big first baseman.
Is this why you play the game? Feelings just like this one?
Yeah, this right here. Yeah, that's Get you. Yeah, take that. Take that. Where's your brother? Huh?
Is that cold? That's cold, huh? That's cold? So the lesson here is that Dad always is going to win most of those battles.
Yeah, at least until they get bigger than me.
All right. To have them around, to have this feeling, that's got to make it especially sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just that's the best part about it. You know, I get to have my boys with me, and you know, it's a lot of fun.
All right, you know what it's like to try to hit really good pitching. Playing behind Justin Verlander tonight, how tough was he?
He was unbelievable. I mean, he, as you saw, he didn't throw many mistakes. You know, his fastball was crisp. He just had everything going. I mean, and when he's doing that, you just gotta, you know, like sometimes we have to do, you know, you gotta tip your cap to a guy like that on the mound.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby.
How is Keating staying relatively dry? What is that? Here's a Miller time moment brought to you by Miller Lite. The final out, Seth Smith rounding to second, setting off the party in Oakland and capping off a dominant performance from Justin Verlander tonight as the Tigers are off to their second straight American League Championship Series. And we're not done partying just yet here in the Coliseum studio, nor in Oakland. We will continue to bring you post-game reactions from the Tigers clubhouse, and we haven't heard from the skipper yet. Jim Leland tends to get a little emotional at times like this. His post-game press conference coming up in just a couple of minutes. And Jose Valverde, but knowing Papa Grande and knowing how much he likes to have a good time, probably nobody feels better tonight. Back in the Tigers clubhouse in Oakland, John Keating is with the Tigers closer.
Mick, I got to believe that no one is enjoying this party more than Jose Valverde, right? I mean, in light of a rather tough night last night, to come back into this party in this clubhouse tonight, how does that feel?
No, I told you last night is over already, and I have everything for my guy. I know Verlander is the best, and I mean, you need to do it the most you can today for winning.
Was last night over last night, or did some of it, did you wake up feeling, you know, kind of crummy today?
You know, the last night when the game's over, right away for me, it's over, you know, because you can't bring it for the hotel, different way where you're going, you know what I mean? You have to right away, throw away, you know what I mean? Because if you bring it for next day for the game, you do it the same.
This is what you play the game for, isn't it? Cigars and champagne and this group of guys?
You know, this is what happened. I mean, I like play for the Tigers, and I mean, and I like play for Leland and pitcher like Verlander, player like Miggy, Prince, all the people here. You know what I mean? I love it. I remember last year when we celebration here. They do it again this year, and I'm so excited.
Did you have a sense watching Justin early tonight that your services were not going to be needed tonight?
You know, the first thing was Verlander today, I know 100% he threw the whole game, you know what I mean? Because Verlander is so serious in the game. He threw first pitch for strike, then this everybody were looking.
Do you care who you play in the next round, Baltimore or the Yankees?
You know, for me.
Come on.
I'm serious, you know what I mean? I have all my guys here, you know what I mean? And myself too. I don't care who's coming, you know what I mean? I had to make him a pitch, and my guy had to make a pitch, and my player had to play the different, and that's it. And I mean, I know how to go for Baltimore. Baltimore have good players. So I go for Yankees. Yankees have good players, and I respect all the players. And this is my team, and my team go a second round.
This season hasn't been as easy as people thought it was going to be. This series was kind of the same way. Does that get you ready for the ALCS?
Oh, I think I'm ready. I think you see me already. Champagne,
you know you're ready.
Cigar, you know what I mean? Celebration for all my guys. For I think the only, I don't know where it is, but 100% is here. You know what I mean? What I said already, I'm ready. You know what I mean? My team passed for bad situation the first 2 months. But the second half, my team, you know what I mean? He do everything. Verlander, Benoit, Otavio, Albuquerque, all my players.
Papa, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The one and only Jose Valverde, Mick.
All right, John, thank you. And it's safe to make your plans now. Tickets for all American League Championship Series games at Comerica Park are on sale now. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Jamie, thank you very much. Celebration.
Up next, the skipper. He has guided the Tigers to their third ALCS berth in 7 seasons. We'll hear from Jim Leland when we continue on Tigers Live.
Really don't care. We have one goal, and that's get to a World Series and win it. And you know, just the next team's just the next obstacle, and we just got to come and bring our A game, and hopefully that's good enough.
Do you have a sense that this team has been battle toughened by this season because it hasn't gone swimmingly the whole way?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows, but like last night, it was the lowest of low. You know, you have a chance to go move, and they come back and get a big win, and the momentum's carried over there, but you know, we bounced back, and look at us. Now we're celebrating again, and you know, we got new life and we're moving on. So it's one of those things where you got to forget the past and just build on the good.
All right, how much art is there to popping a champagne cork? Because you've done it a number of times now.
Oh, these ones are kind of tough.
Tougher than you like.
I was having to use my teeth a little bit, but you know, it just however you can get it open, it comes down good and it feels good going on your head, and it just feels good putting it on your teammates' heads.
All right, in the next round, we're going to pre-open corks for G Money.
Thank you.
G, thanks.
No problem.
Still amazed at the level of dryness John Keating is enjoying at this time. We, by the way, will be here to cover Game 1 of the ALCS against either the Yankees or Orioles on Saturday. As soon as the game is over, flip on over to Fox Sports Detroit for all the post-game coverage. No time settled just yet for the start of that series. The Tigers, by the way, Mario, Rod, 3-3 against the Orioles during the regular season, 4-6 against the Yankees. So go ahead, pick your poison.
I'd rather play the Orioles for two reasons. One, I hate the Yankees, and two, the Tigers would have home field advantage against the Orioles. But to me, Rod, there's not a team left in the American League that is as deep as the Tigers are in the rotation. They've got 4 guys that can dominate on any given night.
Absolutely right. I do not really care who the Tigers play, whether it be the Baltimore Orioles or the New York Yankees. They have the best team in all of baseball. They have some of the best players in all of baseball. And as I said earlier, they're a scary team right now.
Mario and Pemba hates Yankees. Simo, what do you got?
I'm with Mario. I'm with Mario. But both of these teams are dangerous. But I really believe with the way the starting pitching have pitched this series, they match up well against both of these teams.
Birds, Pinstripes, bring it on. It's been a heck of a season. It's not over yet. We'll be with you through the ALCS and hopefully a lot longer. We'll see you Saturday. Once again, the Tigers win Game 5, 6-0 over the A's. Enjoy all the best in the series clincher in the final take. For Craig, Rob, Mario, I'm Mickey. Thanks for watching. Good night, kids.